Welcome back to another episode of We Hunt 2, We Fish 2. Listen, folks, we got a great episode for you all today. It's going to knock your socks off. We have someone today that's going to give you some stories, some insight as to her travel into being a hunting outfitter. We have Sarah Turner. Let's welcome Sarah to the show. Welcome, Sarah. We're going to look to explore Sarah's journey, her passion for hunting, into becoming a professional guide and an outfitter with Triple Crown Outfitter. She will share with us what it's like helping pursue whitetails, managing hunting properties, mentoring young hunters, and navigating a profession that's traditionally dominated by men. Now, Sarah has a great bio, so you guys, you have to sit back and give me a second to get through this one now. She was born in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. She was blessed from an early age to have the knowledge of the woods and the pursuit for trophy whitetail, wild turkey, and mountain elk. She began guiding in 2017 after completing the Guide Challenge, where she participated in a 3-day physical competition to become a hunting guide for what was considered to be the largest whitetail outfitter in the U.S. As the only woman to participate, she took great pride in how she excelled in the competition and became the first and only female guide. She guided for 2.5 years in what was considered a male-dominated sport. She faced many challenges, but with hard work and dedication, she desired to have her stake in the outfitting world. She followed her dreams, which led her to Central Kentucky in 2019, where she started Triple Crown Outfitter. Although her passion for the sport led her career in the industry, she thanks God for how richly He has blessed her. So over the years, she's been quite fortunate to surround herself, her company, and her family with people that are like-minded, hardworking individuals who share the vision that she does. They have been providing hunters a great experience to look forward to. So, Sarah, is there anything that I missed that you want to share with our viewers today?
I don't think so. I think you covered it. That's my main thing. It's just more than anything, it's just thanking the Lord for how blessed I've been with amazing clients, amazing friends, and with the outdoors.
Wow, that's amazing. To manage 16,000 acres, being a single mom of
Yes.
2, yes, that's a lot of land. I mean, how does
It
that
is.
feel? I mean, how much pride is that to say that
Oh
you manage
my
16,000
goodness.
acres?
Listen, I have my days where I feel like it's a circus, but that's just part of it. At the end of the day, I tell people there's days that I have those days where I feel like, oh God, it's a job, because it is a
Right.
job. It's a lot of
Mhm.
work and it's a job. More often, far more often than not, it's a job that I get to get up and go to every day that I love. That's my passion. That when my hunters harvest an animal, I'm reaping the rewards of that, probably more so than they are. Um, so more than anything, it's just I guess that's why I know that I'm so blessed is because I get to get up and go to a job and do something that I absolutely love and that I'm so passionate about. So
Right. Great. That's awesome. We shared in your bio that you was born and raised in Eastern Kentucky, right? But
yes.
with growing up in Eastern Kentucky, can you tell us how your love for the outdoors started? How did it begin?
Oh, so strangely enough,
Mhm.
neither one of my parents hunted, which is
Okay.
crazy. My
Wow.
mom, dad, neither one of them ever hunted.
Mhm.
But remarried when I was younger, and um, her father-in-law was a hunter, and so he would take me hunting when I was little, and so that's where my love for hunting began. Um,
Mhm.
then just watching her go through that relationship and just growing up and, getting through childhood myself, hunting became my escape. Hunting became
Okay.
how I how I functioned in the world, where I found my peace. When I was out there,
Right.
nothing else
There you
mattered.
go.
Life didn't matter.
Mhm.
It's that teenagers are going through. And then even as an adult, hunting became it became my peace, my serenity. And so that love just continued to grow.
Right.
I
Right.
don't ever remember a time that flame in me kind of dwindled out. It's always been there.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's in your
So
DNA.
it's in your
Yes.
DNA. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you spoke, yes, you spoke about neither of your parents hunted, right? So the question has to be, who introduced you to hunting then if neither your parents were
Right.
involved, who's that person that kind of stepped in and say, "Hey, you should try this."
So he was basically like my grandpa. My mom
Your
remarried, and it
grandpa.
was her
Mhm.
Okay.
father-in-law. So
Mhm.
it was pretty amazing. I guess he started taking me when I was probably 6 years old. He would take me to
Mhm.
the woods
Oh,
with him, rabbit hunting, turkey hunting, anything. He would take me fishing all the time, out picking blackberries. I can remember being a little girl and when there was no hunting season in the summer, we
Right.
would just go out and pick blackberries.
Right.
Um, so it was just his way of kind of getting me out of some crazy situations, some tough situations at home. And I knew that was his way of, you know, and not only that, but he watched a love for hunting and for the outdoors grow. And he took so much pride in that. So
that's
I'll
good.
never forget the very first time that I ever got to sit by myself and hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember, and he was tough. So his name was Eugene, and he was, like I say,
Eugene.
he was like a grandpa to me.
Mhm.
But he was tough. He really um he was hard on me. I was the only girl in the whole bunch.
He
Mhm.
My
built
mom
you.
had
Yeah.
yeah, my mom had 8 brothers and sisters, and only one of them had a girl. So and
Okay.
she lived miles away. So I grew up with nothing but boys. I had one brother and tons of cousins, and but Eugene really he pushed me, and he really pushed shot placement. That was a big deal.
There you go.
Making a good
It
clean
started
shot, a
early.
humane shot. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget the very first time he let me hunt by myself. I'm
Mhm.
sitting there, the deer comes out. I shoot, very first hunt I've ever done by myself. I shoot, make a good kill. And he
Okay.
was around, he heard the shot. He comes right to me as soon as, he hears the shot. I can hear his truck coming up that old dirt road. And he was on the other end of the farm. And I was so excited, and he gets to me and I'm so excited and he's really calm. And he's like, and I'm telling him the whole story, how it happened. So anyway, we get to the animal. So when I shot the animal, it ran about
Oh,
50, 60 yards. So we
okay.
get to the animal and I just remember him looking down at it and he said, "You shot him over there?" And I said, "Yeah, we had tracked him." And he looked at me, a beautiful little 8-point buck, just a gorgeous deer.
Mm.
But he
Mm.
just looked
Okay.
up at me and he said, "What the best shot placement I ever seen," and just walked off. And I just remember
Oh man.
I just felt like the life drained out of me.
Yeah.
I was so
He
proud of
made
me.
you
It
tough.
wasn't that. But he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
tough
yeah.
on me.
That
He was
tough
tough. He
love,
was
that
tough.
that tough
Yeah, it
love.
was.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So,
So he later he told me how proud he was of me, and we drove that deer
absolutely.
around. I'm pretty sure we drove that deer around and showed it to half the county. He was
You
very
dropped the
proud
Absolutely.
of
That's what you
tailgate.
me.
did.
You dropped the
That's what you
tailgate and
did.
showed it off. That's right.
Oh yes,
Stopped at the
but
corner gas station right there under the light.
yep,
Dropped
yep,
the tailgate.
absolutely.
But, could you say that's the thing that drew you to your pursuit with the career in the outdoor? That whole experience as a 16-year-old girl with Papa Eugene?
Oh,
Mm,
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. It instilled a love for the
Mhm.
outdoors. He did, and just my own daughter, she got to grow up and hunt with him a little bit. He passed away before my son was born, but
Mhm.
God, what I would give to be able to give those memories to them, those memories and
If
and
you
Mhm.
can. You can because
it
they're
just
in you.
sticks with
They're in
me.
you. So you get it. It is. And so all you got to do is just pass along what he gave you. That's the beauty. You
That's
started
Absolutely.
right.
right around the same time I started, 6 years of age, and for someone to be tough. It I think that older generation sometimes did not know how to express love. It was more
Mhm.
of an
Yes.
action to
Yes.
show you, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that's the way they gave it. So look at you now. You are tough in this, like you said, male dominant industry, and 16,000 plus acres. that you're
Yes.
over. And I know you have a group of people that help you, but still to
Absolutely.
run an
Yeah, as a team. You
operation,
got a team.
yeah, and do what you
Yeah.
love and you love what you do, and it's
Do.
not work. It's just the way you live, you know. And so
Absolutely.
that's a pleasure, just honor to have you on here and meet with you doing the things that we love to do.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And my last intro question, we mentioned your kids, Whitney and Weston. Are they that bug with the outdoors like you did when you
Oh,
were when they were
absolutely.
your age? Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Awesome.
we
Awesome.
she harvested her first coyote when she was 4.
Okay.
That
Okay.
that was it for her. I can remember her being this little bitty girl.
Hmm.
You know, we would go trapping, and we would run traps at night. She had this little pink
Okay.
22 that she always took with her, and we'd be at the truck gearing up. It's cold weather. We're out trapping, running traps, and
Right.
we're at the truck gearing up. And I can remember getting her dressed, in her little camo and her snowsuit and all that. And so I would get
Hmm.
her dressed. In the meantime, I'm trying to get dressed. And before I know it, I can just remember looking out, and here she go, one little headlight and her pink 22 following the crew. And I'm over here like trying to get ready and rushed and thinking that I'm babying her, but I wasn't. She's tough. Weston lives and breathes for it. Now, if he had to choose hunting or fishing, pretty sure he'd choose fishing, but
Right. Choose fishing.
Yeah.
he loves to hunt. He loves to hunt, loves
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fish, but he is definitely the fisherman of the family. So,
You keep your kids outdoors more than they're indoors. That's great.
That's
That's
good.
very
yes,
That's
true.
awesome. That's awesome.
And do they help?
Awesome.
Do they help you on, when it comes to the property
yes.
and being outdoors with
So
them? Okay,
Whitney
good,
actually
good.
guides now. Whitney is 22.
What?
She's been guiding for
Okay,
3 years now. So she started
Okay.
okay,
guiding when she was 19. She runs the
okay.
kitchen. Oh, got a turkey hunt. She won't even turkey hunt. She don't like. She's like, that
She
ain't got a
won't.
rack. I don't. She don't want to do it, which is fine. But she does guide deer hunts, and she's really amazing at it. Um, she tells people she's trying to earn my spot as the top guide, but I ain't worried about that just yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Kelly, she can't top the mama yet. Not
yeah,
just yet.
Not
She got a little bit more
just
learning to do.
yet.
a little
Not
bit. She's got a
just
little bit to
yet.
learn,
Right.
but
Right.
she's
Right.
really
Right.
good.
Right. So
When
She is.
awesome.
when you look back, when did you realize the outdoor would be, what you would do in life, where you would work, where
Oh
your
my
passion would,
gosh, I had no
Yeah, when what
idea.
what
So
click what click, what I'm saying? You go hunting with people. What I know you might not know the day or time, but it had to be a year or some memorable
in
moment that hit
actually
you that said, you know what, I can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
2017.
Hmm.
So, well, we'll rewind. Up until 2017, I had owned my own businesses. I'd worked for myself for years, and
Entrepreneur.
in 2017, I saw a Facebook ad, and it was for that guide challenge, and it was this ad that said, come compete to be a hunting guide for the largest whitetail outfitter in the U.S. And it was going to be, it was filmed for Sportsman's Channel and this and that. And I remember signing up for that thing, but I never thought another thing about it. So about 4 or 5 days go by, and I get a phone call, and they invited me out for the competition. And so
Wow.
I just remember thinking, this is going to be a blast. That was what was kind of in my
Right.
mind. Like,
Right.
this is going to be so much fun. I've been following this group and loved everything about it. I had never been on an outfitted hunt in my life. I grew up hunting
Okay.
public ground, neighbor's ground. As I got older, I leased farms, but I'd only ever hunted really in Eastern Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I went out for that thing. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. So I get there. There's 33 of us, and I'm the only girl. And I just remember thinking, what in the world have I
Wow.
got myself into?
What have you got yourself
What have
Yes,
I
into?
done, Lord?
yes.
But
So it was a
you held your own. Apparently, you held your own because
Yeah.
look. You here now?
Look at
yes,
God.
Yeah.
Look at God.
Go ahead.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a 3-day competition. We showed up. We done everything from relay corn, bags of corn, relay races to putting together tree stands, hanging cameras. We swam the Ohio River. It was insane. It was really fun. And that's probably one of the best memories that I have. I
Oh,
absolutely
that's
loved
awesome.
it and met some
And
awesome
that's
people, and they offered me a job, and so that's when it really became clicked. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
I can
This
do
this
this.
is really
I
happening.
can. That's good.
Wow. So as we kind of wrap this segment
Mm-hmm.
up, and I'm gonna turn it over to Lou. Um,
Mm-hmm.
every hunter has that first hunt, and every great career starts with one opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Your story reminds us all the passion that often open doors for whatever we imagine. So people, if you have it in you to just put that one step forward and to just try it, you never know where it will lead. So that's what Sarah's
Absolutely.
story kind of tell us today. You
Mm-hmm.
never know where it's going to lead, but you won't know until you try, till you step out there on faith and see what happens. Her story started as a 6-year-old girl hunting with Papa Eugene, and now she's one of the largest outfitters in the U.S. So, Sarah, that's an
Absolutely.
amazing story. So, as we move to in the part where becoming a hunter, you
Mm-hmm.
gave us the backstory where you started, but do you remember what I know first one? I know you had many, and you told us about one, but was there one that stuck out more so than any other?
No, I think there was just I was just in the woods so much. I guess probably um early on, probably I can remember my very first turkey
Uh,
kill. That was probably one of the most remarkable hunts that I ever got to go on. Just and it was just an old Eastern. He done exactly what
He's
what
supposed
you
to do.
want to do.
He
I
read
mean,
the
he
script.
pulled so he
yeah,
came
Lou like
in.
hear that by them turkeys now.
Uh,
He like
Yeah,
turkey
yeah,
hunting.
that's right.
yes, he just done everything a turkey was supposed to do. And,
Uh-huh.
Eugene was there. And again, Eugene was just an old timer. He didn't believe in, he was going to go to the woods with an old box call. That is all we went to the woods with. I feel like now I go to the woods with, a whole bag full of stuff and it's still not enough. I'm like, what in the world? Um, but one old box call, and we just got in there and I can remember setting up and just listening to the birds on the limb, and it was just the
Okay.
most amazing hunting experience that you could ask for in a turkey hunt. And I can tell you as a guide, there's days that we get that. There are days that turkeys do
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
everything. They read the script and they do it all. There's a lot of
Mhm.
days that it doesn't go this,
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
so
Right.
but the one on the
Now you
days that it
talking to somebody
does.
who they won't follow my instructions for nothing. No matter what I do, no matter what I done tried. Like I told Lou them the other week, I'm
He
on my
did.
third
Oh,
type of turkey call now.
I
But
said, I'm going to
I
call
ain't
for
gonna
you.
stop. He said, yeah, he
I
gonna
said,
call me, but I ain't gonna give
I'm going to
up.
call
They
for
won't
you. I'm going to
they
call
won't
for you.
follow my instructions. Go ahead.
And the
yes,
beauty
listen.
that's the beauty about hunting. I'm glad you love turkey hunting. And if you had to choose one animal that you could only hunt that year, which animal would it
Mhm.
be? Turkey
Mm.
or deer?
That's a
Which one
good
would
Oh,
you
one.
choose?
see,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
if I'm hunting myself, it will always be
Uh-huh.
a
Yourself.
whitetail.
Okay.
Hunting
It'll always
Okay.
whitetail. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
to
Okay.
guide a wild turkey all day long. I don't know what it
Mm.
is about guiding wild turkey. I would rather call a wild turkey for somebody
You
else than for
call?
myself
You,
any
See,
day.
that
you,
she
you,
goes.
you,
See, Lou, she talking about
she,
calling for some.
she
Y'all
enjoy.
two,
She
boy.
enjoy. Listen.
Mm.
And do you use a mouth call, a box call, a slate,
I do. I use
acrylic?
all. I'm not
All of them. You
great with a box call.
Uh-huh.
okay?
I do run a day power and short box that I'm pretty
Okay.
decent with. I'll use
Okay,
Okay.
on a
okay.
real
Okay.
bad windy day when they're just catching
Uh-huh.
Okay.
it, but I'm just
Right,
really
right,
trying to
right.
get
Right.
that sound out there. But no, I use a mouth call. I use a pot call quite a bit. I love slate, or I've got one
Mm-hmm.
that's from Dave Howard. I run Dave's calls quite a bit.
I
So
know.
Okay.
Some day, some days I go outside. It sound like I got a whole bunch of bells with me. Just ching, ling, ling, ling. I got
yes,
so many calls and everything. I said, you know what, Lou? You can only use one at a time. Why you got this
Yeah,
many
well,
calls? Because you never
yes,
know which bird. I'm trying to play a song and see if one bird want to play a song sing with me. And so I'm trying
yes.
to get out there. And I don't call myself, a big turkey hunter. It just mimic turkeys. I pay attention to detail. I'm a woodsman. And so just like you're a woodswoman, you pay attention to the
Mhm.
details of what's taking place outdoors. And so just to hear that you said you, not guiding, taking, that's why the part I want to see you taking yourself, which animal would you choose would be a whitetail. Do you
Yes.
remember, and you said you remember that first moment. You already said that was a 8-point book. Would you say that's your most memorable moment or memorable animal that you harvest? Is that buck or is it turkey? What's your most memorable moment?
Probably the first one that I ever got to shoot by myself, for sure.
Okay.
That was a
Okay.
huge accomplishment for me. I can remember, I felt like all my cousins, they kind of got to do it a little bit earlier than me.
Mhm.
The boys, they did. I felt like, because they were, they got turned loose a little bit earlier than I did.
Right,
So,
right,
Right.
and
right.
Right.
I remember going into it feeling like I was kind of behind the 8 ball, where I was
Uh-huh.
a little behind the boys, but I
Mhm.
got to go out, and I was blessed. I harvested the very first time that I actually even got to ever
Hmm.
go hunt by myself. And so yeah, I was a little later to the party, but I was
Yeah.
successful much faster than most of them.
Mhm.
So that was a huge deal for me.
That's good.
That was
That's good.
probably been my most
And what
memorable.
did those and excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. What lessons did you learn at your early experience? What did they teach you? Your early experience, what did they
Oh my
teach you and it
gosh.
brought I know it's
Patience.
gotta be. Ooh, listen, what did she say? Wow,
Wow.
patience.
Patience.
Divided
Oh,
so far.
So
Says
far,
patience.
Lou, I think we're batting 1,000 on that one, man.
We betting it. We are. We are.
Everybody, Sarah, listen to me. Everybody that we have brought on the show, they have said the same thing. That one
patience.
lesson that Hunter
One
has
list.
taught them is patience. And I want everybody that's listening. I'm telling you, it is. I'm not saying it. Lou is not saying it. We have a brand new person on the show today. They're saying the same thing, y'all. It's
Same
patience.
thing.
If
It's
you're
patience.
looking for it, it's out there. You can get it. You can get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm
absolutely.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lou.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. You know, those first experience shape how how we are. How do we become hunters, right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it
absolutely.
was a good experience or a bad experience, those failures, those wins. And
Mm-hmm.
like that Sarah shared with us today, folks, it was that one hunt that she was able to successfully harvest a game animal herself. That
Right.
was it. That was the thing
Yep.
for her.
That's
So just like that, you all can take from that as well. Those successes that you have, it'll take you on for a lifetime because you remember what did you what did you do that allowed you to be successful that day? Was it the
mm-hmm.
patience?
Absolutely.
Was it the
Absolutely.
checking for the details? We talked about
Mm-hmm.
that. Was it choosing the right call, the right weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the right
Mm-hmm.
entry point? Was it the right win? Was it the right point on the property? All those things
Mm-hmm.
makes a difference, but we use that as a barometer of how we move in life. We have to make the
Mm-hmm.
best decisions to yield the best outcome. All right. As we transition, Sarah, we had some guests on last week that was phenomenal. And I know you're gonna knock it out the park just as well because
Mm-hmm.
we spoke about women in hunting. And we really want our audience to understand that in this male dominated
Yes.
sport, activity,
Yes.
hobby, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, this
Right.
space is also shared by women such as yourself. And they're doing
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
phenomenal things in this space. But I want to take this opportunity. Lou wants to take this opportunity
Mm-hmm.
for you to use this platform to be that voice for women in the outdoors. So with
Yep.
that, describe to us your experience in being a woman in hunting. Now I know that that's not to be chauvinist or anything, but our
That's
viewers
right.
need to understand there's a difference. Lou and I experience are quite different. Our guest last week shared something along the lines about having to prove themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
can you kind
absolutely.
of give us another take in terms of
Yeah.
your experience as a woman in hunting?
I think certainly, as a woman in this industry, in this sport, I think we always feel like we have something to prove. But I think that's the situation in a lot of things in life. I think anytime that you're chasing your dreams, anytime that you're pursuing a passion, I think you should go into anything like that with something to prove, with a
Right.
goal, with a standard,
Right.
with
Mm-hmm.
with that mindset. Hey, I'm going to set a standard. I'm going to raise the bar.
That's right.
I do think there's a lot of stereotypes surrounding,
Mm-hmm.
how women are perceived in the outdoors. I can tell you that even as a guide, I've walked into situations into camps and, especially early on when I first started guiding, I can remember, during the group meeting in the evening time, the first meeting, and it was like they're assigning guides. And, I was the only girl guide. And so there was times that I felt like my hunters were sitting there thinking, oh man, I got the girl guide,
Oh man.
they kind of
Wow.
feeling like
Wow.
they were behind the eight
They
ball
may
in
have.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, they may
they
have
was losing out. They thought they won't have that experience like all the other
other
guys,
hunters.
other
Absolutely.
Yeah,
hunters. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
other
yeah.
hunters. Right.
And so it did. It made me work harder, probably, than some,
The average.
to
Yeah.
make sure that I had, knowing that I had something to prove. I will also tell you though that I think at first there are some men, and I don't say this, in a negative way.
No,
I think there
no,
are
no, no.
some
I
men that
understand. We
look
understand.
Say it.
that that
Say it.
look at
What's
women and they're like, they kind of have that attitude, like, what's she doing here? But
What's
at the
she
same
doing? Yeah.
time, I
what's
think
she doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do think at the same time, once those same men see that you are there, that you're serious and that you're passionate about it, once you can show them your passion for it, those same men and those same hunters will be the ones there helping you, pushing you, encouraging you.
So
So
let me ask you this: how did that build your confidence level of going in there
Mm-hmm.
amongst all men? Yes, you prove yourself. I know you're confident now because look at what you're doing right now. But how
yeah,
did
Absolutely.
that build? I mean, you're going in there every day with new sets of individual men. You start from scratch. So you have how many? I guess like 3 or 4 days you have, or 5 days you have these hunters, and they
yes,
leave. Then another set. You have to prove yourself every. It's like you starting
everyone,
back over. How
yes,
how did that
yes.
build your confidence level?
Um, you know what? I think so. The very second group I ever had as a guide, um,
Mhm.
I wasn't, and I don't have a thing against them. I tell people, but I feel like people from New Jersey are the hardest people in the world to read. I'll tell all, I have some amazing clients from New Jersey, but I tell them like, y'all are so hard to read. I'm from the country
Wow.
and, it
Uh-huh.
was so funny. And so, I had this group, I had a group of 3 hunters from New Jersey.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They were my
Okay.
second group. And for the entire hunt week, I didn't have a clue. I didn't know where I stood with these guys. I don't know if they thought I was crazy. I didn't know I didn't know if they liked me or if they didn't. They had a great hunt.
Right.
And then
Good.
at the end of that hunt, they checked out from camp. And
Mm-hmm.
as a guide, it was my job to not only provide them a wonderful hunt and to make sure that they had success and, opportunity things, but it was also to encourage them to rebook. So they
Right.
left camp that day and they hadn't rebooked. And I remember thinking, oh man, I don't know what happened. I don't know where they left me, a nice tip and things like that. But I
Yeah.
still didn't know. About 4 days later, they called back to the company. They called my boss back and they rebooked and they requested me as their guide. And so at that
Mm-hmm.
point, I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Okay. I got
So
this. Yeah.
that was kind of like a stepping stone in building my confidence a little bit because that group was tough. And to this day, they still hunt with me. When I left that
Wow.
company, they came with me and they still hunt with me to this day. And shout out to them. They're amazing. But I
And it's
tell them
not
all the
always a
time, like, y'all really broke me in pretty tough because I wasn't sure.
and it's not always about the harvest, it's about the experience. And so apparently
Absolutely.
they had a great experience, whether they harvest or not, because this is not like you tying a deer down and they got to go shoot it.
Absolutely.
You put them in a place, the experience must have been pretty good for them to decide, hey, let's rebook
Yeah.
and come back.
Let's rebook
You
and
know?
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good experience.
Yes.
Wow. So what have you noticed? in terms of women being more involved. Have you noticed an increase or in participation,
Absolutely.
or have you seen
Absolutely.
an increase of the number of women coming to
Yes.
your outfitter?
Absolutely. I've watched just the sport itself. I've watched the number of women increase, the desire for women. And
Mhm.
you know what? I think even the desire was probably there before. I actually, the other
Right.
day, I'm out getting my hair done. I'm at the hairdresser, and it's so
Okay.
funny. She's like, she's never
Uh-huh.
hunted, and she's a great friend of mine. She's been doing my hair for a couple of years now, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
I've never in my life had a desire to want to hunt, but y'all make it look
Really?
so glamorous. I really
So
consider. So I think women understanding that we can still be women,
glam hunt.
um,
Women, that's right.
That's a
and
glam
still
hunt.
hunt. Yes, I think that is something, I do a little girls hunt every year,
Okay.
and, we bring in 5 young girls from 5 different states.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yes,
totally
Okay.
free.
yes.
I have people nominate these kids, we read through nominations, and we pick 5 young girls. Their hunt's paid, they come with a parent, everything, meals, lodging, everything's covered. But that is something that we really, really push, is showing these young girls that, because like every night the lodge transforms. We change.
Mhm.
I mean, we redecorate, we dress up, we do
Oh,
everything
okay.
from pedicures to spa treatments, karaoke. We do sleepovers. You name it, we do it, and then we hunt too. And that is my thing. I think so many women over the years have been hesitant coming into the sport, because they didn't feel like they could. They felt like they had to go out and be a guy to be out there doing it. And that's something that we push is, hey, we
Right.
can come in here and be as girly and frilly and, do all the things. And we can go out here and get dirty and get some deer blood on us too. So
That's right.
that's,
And those girls
that's a
that are
huge
hunting
thing.
with you, that experience that they have, are they still hunting today, or
Oh,
that's their
wow,
first and
yes.
last time?
Yes.
So we try to pick young girls that,
Mhm.
a big deal for us is young girls who otherwise wouldn't get to go hunting, because I tell people at the end of the day, somebody's choice, somebody who didn't have to, made a
Uh-huh.
choice years ago to take
Mhm.
me hunting and to introduce me to the outworld, and ultimately it changed the entire course of my life. Um, and so
Yeah.
that is our focus, is to get girls out there who are interested in the
Right.
outdoors, who want to hunt, but who
Yes.
otherwise, for
Yes.
whatever reason,
Right.
may not get to. Whether
Absolutely.
it's,
Absolutely.
there's families that don't have land for these kids to hunt, that live in the
Mhm.
city. There's families that, parents can't make it work. They don't have the time to invest in it. They don't, or even just a parent who doesn't have the know-how. That we have young girls who they're just like me. Their parents have never been to the woods to hunt, but they want to do it. And
Right.
so, um, that's a big deal, is making sure that we pick young girls who otherwise wouldn't get to do it.
Right,
And
right.
And
it is amazing. We have one of our original groups, I think our very second group, those young girls, and of course they're meeting each one of them are meeting 4 other young girls who share the same passion, the same love, and they're staying connected through social media.
Mhm.
And some of them have actually come back and been on other hunts with us together, which is pretty
Okay.
okay.
amazing. So they came back and hunted with us again. Actually last year I had a young girl, her dad, her grandpa, and great grandpa. So we had 4 generations. They came in
Mhm.
and
Oh,
hunted with us last year.
Wow.
Um, and she hunted with
That's
me in our
awesome.
little girls hunt like in
Mhm.
2020. So it's pretty amazing, that
and
these kids.
how do those ladies apply, or the girls apply to, how do y'all go about choosing them? Is it a certain thing that y'all
So
have to
we
apply
we
Uh-huh.
we put
for?
it out there on our social media, on our
Okay.
Facebook. We'll
Okay.
start sharing things, and we'll give an email address, and we ask people to nominate them. And you don't have to,
Okay.
as long as the parents are okay with it. You can
Yeah,
nominate
yeah,
any
yeah.
child. It's completely free
Okay.
to nominate them. We have amazing sponsors who help us with that.
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
some amazing clients who pour into that. And it's just a nomination process. We want to
Right.
know,
Cool.
who this child
Yeah.
is, where they're from,
Mm,
and something about them. What is their love for the outdoors? Where did it start? And
Good.
and
right.
how this experience would change or would help them. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I can kinda feel why Lou going with this. Let me Imma
Hmm.
see if I'm right. Is it
Hmm.
limited to just the state of Kentucky, or could you say a nomination could come from, say,
So it can
Alabama
come from
or
any state. We
Mississippi?
pick one
Yeah,
girl from
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kentucky, and then the other
Uh-huh.
4 are all from other states. We always
Oh,
pick from other
Oh,
wow.
states.
Okay.
Yes.
okay. Yep, that's right.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I'm sure that between the 2 of us and our circle, I'm sure there's a young lady somewhere that would
Yeah.
really.
Nominate them.
Yes,
That'd
Yeah,
be great.
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Especially the
so
ones that are curious about it, that inquire about hunting,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah.
see someone like you, Sarah, I think that'll build a confidence level. Because you said you go out hunting and then you go out and paint your nails. So it's like you being a hunting princess. You just take them through the
Yeah.
whole.
Uh-huh.
How many days do they
Yes.
stay with you? How many days do they
Uh,
stay with you?
so they check in on a Thursday and they stay through Monday morning.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
So it's,
Cool.
we start on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and check out on Monday.
So that's awesome. Sarah, with all of that, I mean, that was a wonderful outreach program for the young girls. I'm hearing that's something you're passionate about as well. Um, is there or have there been or do you see any misconceptions that still exist when it comes to women or young ladies in outdoors in terms of hunting or being participants in the outdoor space?
Good question.
I think there are certainly still just that misconception from women or from girls who think that they may not be able to do it, or that, because they're scared to try. But
Mhm,
that is my biggest thing. I would encourage them all, get out here, try it. There's going to be things you don't know. It's like
mhm.
Right.
anything. This is a new
Right.
sport. This is something brand new to you. It wouldn't be no different than, I think so many are scared to try because they feel like they're, somebody's going to think they're silly or whatever. And that's not the case. All
Right.
hunters have
Hmm.
to start somewhere. There's no
Somewhere.
man, no woman, nothing. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You got
That's
to
right.
start somewhere.
That's right.
Right.
Yes, you're probably, you're going to, if you haven't, I tell people, if you haven't missed, you haven't
D
hunted enough. If you
You haven't
haven't,
hunted enough.
had a bad day in the turkey woods or the deer woods, you haven't hunted enough. So
That's
Right.
right.
that's part of
Mhm.
it. Um,
Yep.
and so that's more than anything. I think that's the biggest misconception is, hey,
Mhm.
I'm going to walk into, into deer camp or even into a family hunting camp where I'm going to go to the woods and, I'm going to mess up. And that's part of it. There's going to be, we're hunting wild animals. At the end of
That's
the
That's
right.
right.
day, there's going to be tough days. There's days that the animal
Always.
just turkey hunting.
Always.
I
Just not
promise you, there's going to
cooperate.
be
There's
days
gonna
the
be days
turkey
they not
wins.
cooperate. They go win.
Yes.
The
So
day.
I I
And
think that's
by, by you being in hunting so long and the experience you have with these young ladies, and I know we still stand on this, Doc, but that's good that you're
Oh,
bringing a youth, because that's what we're trying to do,
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
educate young hunters
Mhm.
and let them know that they can hunt as well. And
absolutely.
Absolutely.
it's no age limit set on how old you need to be or young you need to be as a child to start. And not just focus on a girl. I'm glad you're doing the little girls, but little guys can do it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I know it's a fear. Some have a fear of the darkness. Some have fear of bugs and snakes. And well, things can happen in life, but you have to
Right.
try it. Try it. Just
Yes.
step out on faith and try it. You did it. Everyone may not be as lucky, or can shoot a deer the first time that they go out, because that will spoil an individual to be able to go out the first time to kill an eight pointer. An eight
Point. Yeah,
pointer.
yeah. That'll
Absolutely.
mess
And
them
well,
up.
and that's the other thing too. There was a lot of hours and a lot of time and a lot of
Yes.
mistakes and a lot of good and bad.
Right.
Long before that, when I was with Eugene, thankfully I had somebody who guided me through that and who I got to
That's right.
spend years hunting
Mhm.
with.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That was only I can tell you that there was a lot of days that, we went home empty handed,
Absolutely.
prior
Mhm.
to that, but just, to go out and to be able to do that the very first time. Yeah, it spoiled me a little bit. But I wasn't so spoiled in the fact that I knew, a time was quickly coming, a time was quickly
That's right.
approaching that it wasn't going to be that easy, so I tell people when it comes to hunting, I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
That's
So
right.
Any day. That's right. That's right.
yes.
Do you remember how many deer roughly that you could harvest back then compared to now in Kentucky? Because Kentucky now you can kill how many deer?
with one buck. We're a one buck. We've
One
been a
buck. One
state.
buck.
Yeah, we've always been a one buck state. And
Always
then
been okay.
does. Yep, does. Growing up, I can remember harvesting a couple days a year.
Mhm.
I think there's places now we can harvest up to 3 maybe. But then, it changes so much with all the, some WD and, all the things that
All the things that
fish and wildlife factors in now, I feel like. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Well, as we tie this segment up, you know, there are some experiences that we all have that have made us stronger, right? In terms of
yes.
hunting and participating in the outdoors. So with that as a backdrop to this question, what advice would you give young women who want to enter the outdoor space based on your experiences or those things that made you stronger? What would you like to pass on to them?
Um, More than anything, just, I always preach patience. This
Mhm.
sport, it takes patience. It takes getting through the hard days, getting through the days where, there's going to be days that you're going to go out there and the animal's going to win. It just
hmm
is what it
hmm
is. But I promise you, once you lay hands on that harvest, whatever it is
Uh-huh.
you're chasing, whether it's a
Uh-huh.
turkey, a deer,
Uh-huh.
whether you're fishing, whatever it is, once you are able to finally lay hands on that animal, it'll make every hard
Mm.
day, every discouraging day, it makes it all worth it. And
It
not
does,
just being able to lay hands
doesn't
on
it?
the harvest itself, but the memories that you're
Yes.
going to make. Those memories,
Yes.
I have better memories or as many amazing memories from the hard days as I have from the
Uh-huh.
days that I went up there and just knocked it out of the
Right.
park and just had a great hunt, because
We say that.
those are the ones that they build character. I'd take a hard day of hunting over any other regular day, but
Right,
Absolutely. That's right. That's
the
right.
hard days of hunting, it certainly checks you a little bit. It kind of
Uh-huh.
It
puts
does.
things in
It
perspective.
does.
It remi-
It
For
does. It
me, I
does.
know it reminds me of one how
Me
blessed
too.
I am
Me too. Me too.
get back into God's creation and to do the things that I do, to be able to just pursue that animal, much less to harvest it.
You say
Um,
the same thing. You're saying the same things that we say. I mean, everything that you're saying is dead on. The hard days, and I'm like, well, why am I going back out here again? This was just a hard day. But
A ho
I'm getting
a
up
ho
again tomorrow and checking the wind and going to another lolocation,
Right, right.
trying to decide, not if I'm going to hunt, it's just where I'm going to hunt.
Where I'm gonna
what?
hunt
So
that
I'm,
day.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because what they
we,
say, what is it? One bad day of hunting beats any good day at work.
that's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
So,
Anyway, it worked.
yeah, so,
Yes.
Sarah, and this is the last one, then I'm gonna give it to Lou for the next segment. This is kind of a two-part question. It's kind of one first one is kind of a funny story type deal of hope you can provide, and the second part is kinda like, something that our viewers need to hear, but the first part is, what do you think that women uniquely bring to a hunting camp? And
Uh,
then you
we,
go
we
then
pay
you can
attention to the little details. I mean,
What?
I'm telling you,
What you trying
guys
to
are
say?
amazing.
what
What you
I
trying to say?
love
No.
all of
guys
my male hunters.
the guys
See how
don't
I'm
you
give
telling
started off?
they don't care about anything. They don't care.
No, it's like, as long as they got somewhere to lay their head, they're good. Listen, I had a hunter walk into camp last year
Uh,
it was funny. He walks into camp for lunch and, he's a great guy. I think the world of him. And him and
You
his wife
start
have
off.
traveled all over the world. And it's him and his wife there on this hunt, and this is our very first deer hunt. But he walks in and he looks at our, at the lunch spread, and we have an amazing meals, and we have an
uh-huh.
amazing
Mm.
cook who does just such a great job. But I remember him looking down at this spread, and he just shakes his head, and he walks off, and he looks back. He said, "Miss Sarah, I'm just going to tell you." He said, "Never in a million years did I ever think that I would walk into a deer camp and see a charcuterie board." So he's like, "This is different."
Exactly. I've never seen one in deer camp.
I ain't never
I've
seen
never seen one in deer
I
camp.
don't want
Never.
no cheese and grapes and crackers.
Yeah, the whole nine, and it was like,
Some
we
deer
pay
meat.
attention to the small details. I think women build. We focus on the obviously, but even and being successful, but when it
Mhm.
comes to deer camp itself, we're focused on the little details. You know,
That's
if
good.
the aesthetic, we got to set the aesthetic. That's
Right,
just a
right,
wooden point,
right,
and
right.
it
That's
is
why
what
your
it
clients
is.
continue to probably come back. You probably got a great turnaround for his clients coming back year after year because of what you're doing. It's the
Yes,
details, the small
It's the
things.
detail. It's
Yeah,
the that makes the difference. That makes the difference.
it does. It does.
absolutely.
So,
And I
and
even
it's
say that not even just in my camp, but I've gone to camps, you know, with just our family and friends. And
mm-hmm.
when the women are in camp, you know, the
Hmm.
little details are taken care of. You know, it's a whole meal instead of just steak on, you know, on the grill or what. And don't get me wrong,
Absolutely,
we love some steak, but
absolutely, yeah.
uh, you know, the beds are made up, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just
What?
all those things. And so, yeah,
They
so
get a.
guys,
They get a.
you don't hunt, I would encourage you all to push them to go to deer camp and
Okay.
and to push them to
Okay.
hunt, because you're going to have a much better hunt camp once they start going. Y'all gonna have
y'all,
charcuterie boards and
hear,
stuff in deer
y'all hear
camp.
it. Y'all better push them. Y'all better get them to hunt
Better
camp now.
get your
Yes,
ladies to go hunting with you. It's
Get
a
them
great
to go with
experience.
you. Get them to
yes.
go with you.
There's
So
great
And it.
rewards in that.
And
yeah,
even if you have, so you can have, and that's the good. I'm glad you said this. So in deer camp, someone can bring the hunter can go hunting, but they also can have a guest to come with them.
Absolutely, yes. So,
mm,
we
okay,
our deer camp, we have rooms set aside. So basically, once I take my bookings, I don't assign anybody sleeping arrangements until I've got everybody in, and then I sit down. We have you know, we have rooms reserved that sit there until we know if we have any ladies in camp. If we have,
Okay.
that's
whether it's a
awesome.
guest with a
That's awesome.
husband, it's another huntress, or even if we have a couple huntresses coming in single, we make sure our ladies have their own space. I'm not going to, you know, throw one of our ladies into a bunk room full of guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah. That ain't right.
so
That ain't
that's
right.
something that's really
No.
important.
So
We make sure,
we
and
can
then
dispel
after
that
that,
myth. We can dispel that concern right here,
That's right.
right
That's
now,
right.
yes,
ladies.
yes,
You will be
That's
absolutely,
right.
taken
we're
care
going to
of
make
at
sure.
Triple Crown Outfitters. You will be taken care of.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes. Yeah, well,
Oh,
and listen, now the
yeah.
guys swear that we work harder for the girls. That's not true. They're like, if there's a girl in camp, she's
Uh,
gonna kill the biggest deer, or she's gonna kill the first
yeah,
buck. And
Oh,
I'm
they gonna
like,
you
feel
know what?
boy. They gonna feel like
That's
you know
what it is.
he
You
helped
know what
them.
she put?
She
That's
helped
right.
her.
She put
She
him.
helped
She knew
her. Yeah.
exactly
She
where
put
that
them
deer was
where I
coming
was
out.
gonna see deer and put me
She
where I
did.
wasn't gonna see it. And there. That's
He put
not fair.
4 pieces of corn right there for
Right.
that deer to
yeah,
come out.
Right.
Some apple corns for that deer to come out right there for her to shoot it.
That's right. That's right.
oh,
Okay.
Let me ask, what's your experience? I know you about to we got to go to this different segment, Doc, but I just want to ask you,
Hey, go ahead. Go
how
ahead.
did it make you? How did it make you feel? You got a lady to come to camp or a guy to come to camp. How did it make you feel when they kill their first harvest? You know, never killed a deer before. And they come up there. Who is more excited? Is it you or is it the hunter?
it is like it's a close race. I'm telling you, I've had hunters that I've literally cried with them. You know, and
There
it's
you
just
go.
that's the girl in
That's
me. I
that
promise
passion.
you.
That's what we're talking about
I
right there. Yes,
I
sir.
Yeah,
tell people,
yeah.
you want to see the girl come out of me, one, let me see a mouse because I'm going to act a fool. Or you let me have like a successful hunt with one of those hunters, you know, and it's like their first kill, or just that
Yeah.
gets sentimental on me because the girl's coming out. I'm going to be a mess. But
We
Uh-huh.
talking about hold up. We talking about a stone cold killer named
A
Sarah that's scared of
stone
a mouse.
cold killer.
I
That's
don't
scared
mess
of
with
a
them.
mouse.
Listen, I'll pick up a rattlesnake, but don't you let a mouse run across my
Wait a
foot.
minute.
It's
But Sarah,
over.
look. Wait, hold. I'm gonna stop right here.
Wait, look,
Sarah,
look, look.
don't feel bad, because guess what? I'm scared of a mouse too. So,
Wait a minute now. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I didn't know that about you, Doc. I
hey
didn't
man,
know that about you.
hey, trust me,
So,
man. Hey, I don't like mouse. I don't like
Them
rats.
little
I don't
beady
like none
eyes,
of
I
them.
can't do it. I just can't.
Nope,
They
nope,
freak me
nope.
out.
I have a witness. I have a witness. I hate to
Yeah.
say it on this, but I'm gonna say it. I'm man enough to say it right here, Lou. My wife, she'll tell you. She knows if I see one, I'm going the other way.
What?
I'm going
Lord,
the other
I
way.
think I got a good prank coming around this mug. I think I got a good.
I said he done it. I said he
Lord.
done it. I said,
Oh yes, sir.
man, I'm going the other way. Yeah, you better get out of my way because I'm getting clear out of it. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
with you.
What about the outdoor community? And then I'm gonna close and say, what do women bring to the outdoor community that's unique that people might not realize, Sarah?
Um, I think women just in general are probably, and I don't mean to say that men aren't, but I think we're certainly very ethical. I think there's,
Okay.
our hunting ethics, I think, are very strong. And I think there's a lot of amazing men who have amazing hunting ethics. But I think certainly there's a very deep appreciation when we do harvest. I think that we truly, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. I shouldn't say it that way because I know there's so many men who are just amazing hunters and
No,
who
no,
really
Oh,
appreciate
absolutely.
no,
the
no. Say what
fishing
you
that they
feel.
harvest.
Yeah, but I get it though. I get it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, as I think is that I want to say maternal instinct part of it, or
Yes,
that matriarchal type of spirit,
absolutely.
that's uniquely in, women hunters that allow them to
Mhm.
be that ethical hunter or
Right.
want to make sure
Absolutely.
things are done right because they have that nature of caring about how an
Nurturing.
animal is disposed or dispatched, as we
Absolutely.
say in the hunting community. So I think that's a part of. But Sarah, no, don't feel no. I
I
totally
think
Oh,
so.
understand where
you don't have to
you
prove
And
going
nothing.
I
with that.
think once you
Yeah,
find a woman who hunts, I think
yeah,
certainly
yeah.
we have a very deep passion to once we feel confident in our
Mm-hmm.
abilities to hunt, I
Mm-hmm.
think we have a very strong and deep passion to pass that along, whether it be to other
Absolutely.
women, to
Yes.
kids. I think
Yes.
that's something that and again that comes from
Mm-hmm.
just like you were saying, just that whole maternal instinct. I think
Yes.
it just
Yeah.
Yes.
we have
Yeah.
a very strong desire to pass that information or to pass that passion and that love and that whole thing along to others,
Yeah.
whoever it should be. So
So
Uh-huh.
and for our listeners, I mean, if you didn't get anything else from that
Mhm.
segment, get this.
Mhm.
Our community is stronger when we
Right.
share our passions, our experiences, and our knowledge with one another, regardless
That's right.
of who you are, what background you come from, what
Mhm.
gender, it doesn't matter. If you have that passion, and as we talked about last week, that skill to go out and execute an ethical harvest, and then you
Right.
can take that and pass that along to that group of young girls who has never been hunting before, or this group of young men who have never been hunting before, or any adults who have thought about hunting for the first time. You can give them some insight. You can give them a little bit more confidence in their anticipation about wanting to be a part of outdoor through the experience that
Outdoor.
you shared today. So thank you for that. So,
Mhm.
Lou, um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it over to you, man.
Well, uh, Sarah, and we talked about so much, and I know we wanted to go into about land management. We wanted to go into the habitats that people would be, coming up to your place. So, what do you do in preparation? Because I know you probably know a lot since you've been dealing with 16,000 acres, and I know you may do things differently. What do you do, preparing to get the habitat ready for hunting for the hunters coming?
um, the main thing is I tell people the hunt starts yeah, every year, every season starts as soon as the next or the last season ends.
Okay.
You got to be out there. We're out there. We're putting mineral out. Yeah, these deer. So many people have such a terrible misconception about mineral in itself. Hey, it only be a certain time of year. No, those deer need mineral, and they need different food sources. They need high proteins. They need all the things all year long. And so, we're planting food plots. Yes, we feed. In Kentucky, we're blessed. We do get to hunt. We are allowed to bait. And
Yeah.
so
Okay,
that does
good,
help
good,
with
yeah.
your opportunities for success. But it's making sure that we're keeping those mineral licks very freshened, because from even once those deer, once they lose those antlers or once the season's over, the deer's need for all that's not over. Once they
Nutrients.
drop
Yep.
those antlers, once they're at the end of the rut, our deer are the scrawniest they're going to be because they've been out chasing dugs all season. Some of these bucks will literally chase until they're like withered down to hardly anything by the
Mhm.
time the rut's over. And so you want to get that feed back out there. You want to get them back on those food sources. I have bucks that once the rut starts, you know how it is. Once the rut starts, they're
Hmm.
not going to look at a piece of corn. They're chasing one thing. And so they'll run themselves to death. And so as soon as that transition happens, you got to be there and be ready. You want good feed out there. Of course, we use Big Tine. I'm a huge advocate for Big
Mm.
Tine. I've been with
I
Big
use
Tine
them.
since before Big Tine was, a big deal, I guess.
Okay.
And they're amazing. But making sure that they have that. We plant late season food plots. We want things that they're going to come in. We do corners with just, radishes and turnips, things like that they're going to need. But that's the main thing. It's just understanding that hunting, yes, it's a sport. Yes, as far as especially deer, yes, it's just a season. Yes, it's in the fall and the early winter, but the work has to go into it all year long to ensure success. And
Mhm.
to ensure that those deer are either going to maximize on their growing potential and the herd's potential. And we're doing a ton of predator management. That's a big deal for us.
Predator man, yeah.
That's what I was
We have to keep those coyote numbers low. We have to keep all of that stuff in check. One coyote or one bobcat can be detrimental to a turkey
Yes.
population on a
Yep.
farm.
going.
I mean,
Hmm.
it can absolutely be brutal. So
And that's what I was going to ask you about habitat management and predator management. But you kind of answered that for me right there when you were saying
Mhm.
it's very important to
absolutely.
manage your habitat and bedding areas
Especially
and
those
where you
those baby fawns, those fawns that just hit the ground, they are very vulnerable to those predators, and if you have a
Absolutely.
high
They
number of
are.
predators,
And
then
people
they
don't
can
realize,
they can decimate a herd, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, well, people don't realize even, I tell people coon hunting since thermal coyote hunting came into the picture. I feel like coon hunting's almost a thing of the past because the people who
Mhm.
used to coon hunt, they were
Right.
nighttime hunters. Well, now everybody's
Mhm.
really taking up the whole sport of coyote hunting, thermal hunting, and things like that. And it's great.
Right,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
it. I
yeah, yeah,
love to
yeah,
thermal
yeah, yeah.
hunt.
Right.
Okay.
But you've
Perm
got to
yeah.
make sure that you're still maintaining. You don't need a dang herd of coons in the middle of every
Right.
cornfield.
Correct.
Not only is
Mhm.
going to get um myself, I wouldn't give you a nickel to go coon hunting, but I'm blessed with, reaching out to people and people will reach out to me and they're like, hey, you need some nuisance control done. And
No
so
mhm.
thankfully we've been able to reach out or to find people in the local areas that are really good about doing those things and keeping those numbers low just as well, because that's
Mhm.
just as important. So
Because that would affect your deer population as well as your turkey population,
There
correct?
you go. That's it. There you
Yeah.
go.
absolutely.
Right.
Right. Right. Right.
Everything goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And the what would you do? And there's a question that I have written down is what makes a property consistently produce mature buck?
Um, Probably one of the best practices that I've ever introduced into the company is just having a what we consider a sanctuary. That is by
Yeah.
Mm.
far the most
Can't touch it.
important thing that I've ever.
Yeah.
Now,
I
every
love
single
it.
property doesn't have the capability of doing that. I mean, I have farms
Right.
that range anywhere from, 100 acres to 800 acres.
Okay.
And so that sometimes that's just not feasible. It just doesn't work. But I can tell you that the numbers of consistently producing big mature whitetails, I truly believe there is a strong need for having just that entire sanctuary area. I tell you, we've got a farm, it's about 160, 180 acres,
Okay.
and I leased it. And if you walked onto this farm, just without really knowing it. You would say, hey, there's some deer here, but you would never in your life dream that deer produces, that little farm produces
Mm.
2 to 3 shooter bucks every single year consistently. We've never, that was one of the very first farms that I ever leased. I leased the 48 acres that butts up to it. And when it was so fun. So I called this old man and I said, hey, I'm interested, I'm leasing the property next to you. I would like to lease this piece of ground. And he said, okay. He said, well, I would think about it. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I don't want to hunt the ground. I said, I just want to lease it. So, and I just don't want nobody else hunting it. And because this area was it was immaculate. It was perfect. It was overgrown, really thick. And it bordered, it was just beautiful. It's perfect the way it just sits right. It kind of, our property kind of hugs around it. And so there's some really pretty draws and everything it's amazing. It's got a beautiful ridge, an acre ridge out through there. And he said, well, honey, and he was an older fella. He said, well, honey, that don't make no sense. Why you want to pay me to lease land for hunting? And you ain't going to, so I tell you what, just lease it to me for hunting, He wasn't having that. He thought there was something crazy going on, apparently.
Right.
So anyway, but I ended up leasing it, and we do not touch that piece of ground. We don't go into it. We don't have deer cameras in it. I don't shed hunt it. I don't turkey hunt it.
You don't put cameras in it?
No, 48 acres. I pay the lease on every single year, and we never step foot into that piece of ground
That's
because
awesome. That is the same.
I know that once my deer feel pressure that are on my bigger piece, once any other deer around me on the neighboring properties feels pressure, they know that is the one place that they can go that they are completely safe. There's no feed in there. There's natural food for them, but I don't put any feed in there. I don't want them relating anything human to that area because when they're in that area that they are 100% in their area, that's their domain. They're not going to be bothered. And I've had
that's it, little safe zone. That's what's it called. Yep.
Yeah. And he offered me a really, nice price. He said, because we had a deer that we were after pretty hard on that farm 2 years ago. And he hunted him hard. We hunted the border of it, of the sanctuary, but we didn't touch the sanctuary. And he was just tore up. He's like, just let me write you a check. And I said, buddy, you don't understand. It's not about the money. It's about what it will do to that farm moving forward.
Wow.
It's not a day's price. It's about the price that we'll pay moving forward if I allow you to go in there. And so I really guard that little piece of property, and consistently that property produces 2 to 3 shooter bucks every single year that we're able to get out there and chase. And we've been very successful on. So.
And how do your food plots, your bedding areas and your water in the other areas operate? So do they all come together? Do you have them set up in different ways? Your water, your bed area, your food plots?
Everything is so different. So everything is different. For example, I have one farm, it's 800 acres and it's 85% soybean. That's a farm that we're really focusing on the rut. That's a farm that we're going to hunt the rut. It's soybean one year and corn the next. Let me tell you something. You go to hunt 800 acres of corn. Until they cut it, it's a whole new ball. It's like hunting out in Illinois or something.
Yeah.
The deer stay in the corn. The deer stay in the corn.
Yeah, they're going to stay in it. So there's nothing we can do to really coax them out of it. So, but we do have some draws and some hollers there. There's a couple beautiful acorn ridges. And so different times a year, different farms. All our farms are so different. I've got farms that are, thick woods, deep hollers. Okay. Where I'm at, right there in central Kentucky, it's where you really start to see the transition from rolling hills into more mountainous, or into deeper, big deep hollers and stuff. So,
okay, so triangle.
Yes. Okay. It's we're right there on that line where we see the transition. So, and which is nice because we have it allows us to have a variety of different hunting setups. Because I have hunters who come in and I've had hunters who come in and they're like, I don't want to field hunt, and I'm fine with that. I everybody has their preference. Now, if we're hunting, you're coming in and you're hunting the rut with me. Right. Whether you like to field hunt or not, I ain't gonna make you, but I'm gonna highly recommend you field hunt because
trust the guide. Trust the guide, people.
Trust the guide, folks.
Absolutely. you take late October, in the morning time, we're really going to, so late October, pre-rut, we're going to be focused on the morning time. We're going to hunt ridges. We want to be somewhere where those thermals are rising, where those big bucks are up there. They're strolling. They're checking for a doe that's in heat. That's where we're going to get up with one of them at. In the evening time, they're going to be down closer to the food sources, searching for does where those does are at feeding.
That's right.
Again, the rut, absolutely. We're focused on, I want to be able to see as much as I can see in the rut because you don't know what's going to happen.
Can you bring decoys during the rut in Kentucky? Can you have a decoy?
You can, as long as it's not mechanical. As long as it doesn't.
Not mechanical.
Not mechanical.
Velvet, I tell people, if you want to really lock in and say, hey, I'm hunting a very specific deer, that is the one time of the year that whitetail deer in the state of Kentucky are by far the most predictable. They've not been pressured. That velvet hunt's amazing. Now it's hot. The weather's unpredictable, but the deer are very predictable. We don't hunt the mornings. It's a very relaxed hunt. We go in, early in the day, we get set up and we kind of wait on that magic hour, but we're hunting the staging areas. We're going to focus on staging areas. We're going to focus on areas between their feed and their water source and their bedding source. That's where we got to get in between because that's where we know they're going to be. And that's where, again, that's when they're most predictable. They haven't felt any pressure. They're still on summer feeding patterns. So if you want to say, there's some people who, I feel like kind of have a misconception about that. It's very easy to misconceive.
It is.
Because I'm going to an outfitter, I know exactly what deer I'm hunting, and this is the way it's going. And that's not it. We're hunting wild animals. This is a free range hunt.
Right.
But it is the one time of year that I feel like I can pinpoint a deer and say, you know what? I feel like 9 times out of 10 that deer's probably going to show up, and
Doc,
we're very successful.
Doc, I don't have a velvet deer, and I always wanted a velvet deer.
I don't. Hey, like we said before. Hey, if I just see one, have opportunity, man. But we gonna get to that. We gonna get.
We'll get to that.
We gonna get to that.
The other question I wanted to ask you, Sarah, do you notice the difference? I know the area that you live, and then also your property is in Kentucky. Do you know the difference in body size from where you live to Kentucky deer?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Kentucky
deer in comparison to Alabama. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. But
there you go.
Yes. Whitetail deer in Kentucky are just, I tell people, it's a different animal. Now, of course, and even I hunt in Illinois, even I see such a huge difference in moving from Kentucky to Illinois. We take in Illinois.
Okay.
It's like, their body is just massive. And from Kentucky, from Alabama to Kentucky, and then, of course, I'm down in Florida a lot. I see the deer down there quite a bit.
Yeah.
When I'm there for turkey season, running cameras and things. And so, yes, from state to state, you're going to see just such a difference in those deer sizes, their body size, not just their rack, but in their body size, certainly. We grow, but there's times that we even see that in Kentucky, just comparing deer to deer. Last year I had a group of 3 came in. It was a grandpa, the son, and the grandpa, the dad, and the son. So it's 3 generations. So they all literally killed opening day of the opening day of their rifle. Very first day, they all killed within about 6 hours of each other. 2 of them, grandpas and the sons, were killed within 40 minutes of each other. So we go get grandpa's deer, and listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm a girl, and my daughter, she's there, and I mean, we're guys, and people are like, oh, well, they're girls. We're pretty tough. If we can both grab a hold of a buck and we can't move his hind end very well, he's pretty healthy. I'm just going to be honest. He was a big boy. He was a
that's a big boy.
Then we go over to the farm where the grandson had killed.
Okay.
And we grab a hold of this deer and we jerk him up in the truck, and the grandpa's standing there looking at us like we're crazy. He's like, "You girls are sure struggling with mine." And then he's seeing him, his body laying next to him in the back of that same truck, and they're laying there together. And he's like, it was insane. And it wasn't even that much of an age gap. There was the one, maybe a year younger than the other, but it was the difference in going from a woods deer because
Yeah.
the grandson's over here hunting hardwoods, thick hardwoods,
Okay.
and
Okay.
he's over here hunting a corn farm, cornfields farm, and so
Okay.
that deer was just massive. He was just a handful. So
Yeah. So I just want the people to understand this, Luke. I hope
Mm-hmm.
they were listening. What
Mm-hmm.
they heard are the stories
Mm-hmm.
that is experienced at Triple Crown Outfit. I want our
Mm-hmm.
folks to I can't say that enough. Triple Crown Outfitter. Sarah has told us how she guides, right? She has told us what makes her hunts unique than any
Successful.
uh, other outfitter out there. She has
Yep.
shared. She has walked us through a typical guided hunt, and
That's
and
right.
and for you first time clients out there, if this doesn't motivate you to book with Triple Crown Outfitter, something is wrong with you. I'm just go ahead
Because
and tell
you're gonna
you.
eat off a charcuterie board.
You
You
go.
hear me? You understand? You understand? Cheese, hors d'oeuvres. You understand? You know, caviar.
You're
Don't get
gonna
it
eat up,
twisted.
but you're gonna have some cheese and crackers and some grapes, buddy. In
yes,
the camp. In the camp. You're gonna have a place to hang your head because
Amen. That's right.
because women bring a unique experience to the camp now, fellas.
Absolutely.
So
yes,
Absolutely.
this is Triple Crown Outfitter. So as an outfitter, Sarah, you have shared with us how you help families make memories, and you ended with the story of the grandpa, father, and the son. That
Right.
right there, that right there was wonderful because to
Mhm.
have those experiences, those things can be talked about for generation after generation after generation. And
absolutely.
that's why we do what we do in this outdoor space. We create memories that last a lifetime. So, and
Yep.
with your help, you can definitely assist a lot of clients in experiencing that as well. So, if someone, and this is my follow up question, then we can move on.
Mhm.
You talked about the sanctuary, and I talked to the guys a couple of times about the little small sanctuary I created because I had my hand in a few years of trying to develop land and develop a good book producing piece of farm track.
Right.
And I must say I can tap my little hat or tap my little stuff on the back to where I was able to take a piece where I didn't see deer at all in year one. Year two, I saw them from a distance. Year three, okay, I started to see more about it. By year 4 and 5, I got bucks on the field, in the field, and I harvest 2 bucks in the same year. So with my question, if someone only has 40 to 50 acres, where should they
Mhm.
start if they wanted to improve their deer habitat?
Certainly. Again, one, you got to make sure they've got their minerals. You want to put minerals out there. You want to keep them a food source. Um, at the same time, more than anything, it's just creating that safe space for them. When
Uh-huh.
you've only got 40 to 50 acres, and
Uh-huh.
trust me, I grew up in hunting 40 and
Uh-huh.
50 acre tracts.
Uh-huh.
If you've
Uh-huh.
got hunting
Yep.
pressure around you, it's
Yeah.
hard. It really
It
is.
is.
It's hard to manage it. So, but the main thing is it's hard to watch a deer walk knowing that the neighbor may kill him. But if you
Man,
want to
yes,
start building that herd,
yes,
uh, to improving that property, one, you got to keep, the pressure down. I'm not saying you
yes.
can't go into it. If you only
Bingo.
got 40, 50 acres, you got to use it, but you want to limit that pressure. You
Yes.
want to make sure
Amen.
that you will process those young deer. You've got to let those genetics grow. And I know, again, it sucks sometimes because like you're saying, you're sitting there and you're looking at a deer and you're saying, he's only 3.5, but I know if I let him walk, the neighbor may shoot it. And he may. It is what it is.
That's
That's
right.
part of
Yep.
But that deer he may live.
Uh-huh.
And so, or he may spread those genetics before the neighbor shoots him. And so that's important. But just really limiting that hunting pressure, going in there and taking, taking an inventory. One, that's
Yeah.
so important. Getting
Uh-huh.
that inventory as to what's
And what
there.
you got out there. That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then just, just managing as far as that goes, as far as being able to say, I'm going to let that deer walk.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's hard when you're only working with a small piece of property, but it can be done.
It
And
can
if you'll
be.
create that safe space for those deer, I promise you, even with the outside pressure, your little 50 acres, once those deer feel safe, that's where they're going to come to when they feel that
And
pressure
Doc-
from everywhere else. And that's when you're
and
gonna lock in on a big buck. So
Mm-hmm.
you and Doc, just to say, I have a hunting buddy that he only has right at 5, 10 acres,
Mm.
right? But he's surrounded by big hunting clubs. Check this
Club.
out now. He's
Yeah,
surrounded
yeah,
by
yeah.
big hunting clubs, right?
Uh-huh.
He only hunts this 5 to 10 acres on a certain parts of the year. Is doing
Th-
rifle season.
There you go.
Why? Because his land is kind of landlocked. So he can go in. It's almost like a point. He got 3 different big hunting clubs around him. Guess where, when all the shooting takes place, where the deer come?
yeah.
It comes to his 5, 10 little preserve area. He crossbow hunts. That's what he does. He bow hunts. I'll say he bow hunts in this area. And he harvests pretty much a deer, a nice wall hanger every year
And 3 years,
around the same time
I
because
love
he
that.
doesn't go in there during bow season. He goes in there when the rifle shooting taking place on all
They
3 other properties. And they,
those see that they see that as they sanctuary. It's only 10 acres,
that's
but
right.
they
Absolutely.
there you go.
And
There
they
you go.
come through and he harvests
Yeah.
a nice. So it is.
Yeah.
It's about you saying the pressure. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming whether the
Mm-hmm.
wind is right or wrong, he has a shooting house there. He has it set
Mm-hmm.
up. He said, Lou, I
Mm-hmm.
only hunt this property, during rifle season. And I just bow hunt it. I said, okay. I said, that's good. I said, you kill it? Kill every year. So it
Wow.
Yeah.
is. It's about the pressure.
Yeah. And we said it in I'm sure a couple episodes ago, and this just reaffirms what we've been sharing with our audience about the tips and advice that we try to give to have people to be successful. And Sarah, that question was born out of the fact that yeah, you have an outfit that covers 16,000 acres, and that is man, that is magnificent. That is great. But a lot of our audience, and I can speak for those here in the great state of Alabama and neighboring states, the average hunter may only have about 40, 50, a little under 100 acres that they
Oh,
can
absolutely.
hunt. You have a
Mhm.
margin of error plus or minus 20. You have some that may have bigger tracks or smaller tracks, but the average person might fit within that 40, 50 range. And so
Absolutely.
those tips would be, very helpful for them. What you think about that? You agree or
I
disagree
tell
with that?
people, I grew up, so of course I told you, I grew up hunting a lot of public ground. Actually, my biggest deer to date, my
Okay.
biggest bow kill to date was 164 inches off of
Woo!
public ground in the
Goodness
state of
gracious.
Kentucky.
Public land.
Mhm.
Um, but that deer, it's about getting in there, being patient, watching your
Mhm.
pressure. I was hunting public ground, but I was going into places. So I even encourage people. There's a lot of people. I tell them I've never went on an outfitted hunt until I was well into this career.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
so even if you don't have a piece of ground of your own, I still encourage people get in the woods, go hunt public ground. I know some of the public ground hunting gets a bad rap
Yes. Yes.
sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if you stay after it, if you've got the determination to do it and you stay after it, and if you're willing to get out there and to get into areas
There
that
you
other
go.
people aren't willing to get
That's it.
into, you can
That's
be
right.
just as successful. And again, like I say, that to date, that is my biggest bow kill. And probably one of the most proud, I take more pride probably in that deer than any deer I've ever killed because I worked hard for that deer.
Mhm.
And
Right.
That's
I
absolutely.
bribed him. So, he wasn't an easy one, but and there was other pressure around me that was after him too, but it was their
Yes.
patience wasn't there. And I knew,
That's right.
two of the guys who were hunting it too, and we were friends and we knew one another well and knew we had shared stories about the deer. But
Okay.
that's the thing. I think you've got to have a determination, but patience. I preach patience more than anything to any hunter, young, old, whatever it is. Patience and just staying after it. So
And I'm glad
Oh,
you said about,
yes.
the public and private land. To me, the
Absolutely.
experience to be in Kentucky, people, the misconception that they have about public land and private land, I'm not gonna dwelling alone, but the private land, you can go in teaching yourself how to hunt from the mistakes that you make on private land.
There you
You
go.
go
Absolutely.
to an outfitter because the mistakes, you shouldn't be making the mistakes
Make
because you're listening to the outfitter. You don't go.
that.
I've had this experience, Sarah, in an outfit. The outfitter told the gentleman to go sit here. When he went to go pick the gentleman up, the gentleman wasn't there. He thought it was a better place. Well, the man has cameras and everything else out here. One, you're disturbing the property. You're walking around and you don't know,
Absolutely.
what you're doing on these people's property. So I think that's a little disrespectful. Now, get permission. I know sometimes hunters believe they can just understand land. I think I do, but you don't know the layout of these different properties. So if you want to do that, go to private land. Make your
Yeah.
mistakes
Absolutely.
there. But when it comes to
That
an outfitter, we
be
rely
ready to hunt.
upon you,
Yo,
right?
yes. Come ready
We
to hunt.
we all ready to hunt, and that's the
There you go.
experience I
Absolutely.
know you
Mm-hmm.
want to have with outfitters. And I know you've had. We talking about positive. Doc and I is always talking about positive. What do
Mm-hmm.
you want your clients to know about your outfitter? Like if you give them instructions, do you lay out like, hey, this is a 5 acre
Yeah,
little
that's a
area
great
that
question, Lou.
you can only
Great
be a
question,
part
Lou.
of, or do we come get you? What do you want them to know when they come to camp
Expectation.
on their
Yep.
part?
So I
Expectations.
tell my
There you go.
hunters
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, this is your hunt. Okay. I'm your
Right.
guide. I'm your outfitter.
That's right.
Your success is my success. That at the end of the day, if you're not
I like
successful
that.
and you're not feeling there, one, I need the trophy photos. Two, I want you happy as a client. I want you to be successful. We're out here putting in that work. That harvest means just as much to us, to me, to my guides, as it does to you. I promise you.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
That's
But
right.
at the end of the day, I tell people it is your hunt.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to sit down and when you come in, I'm going to assign you a guide and we're going to sit down and we're going to give you all the intel that we've got. I'm going to
Okay.
tell you, based on what I believe is a trophy to you, this is the stand we need to be at.
Okay.
Again, we are hunting free range whitetails. There's no
That's right.
guarantee you're going to see a deer. Now,
Right.
you're going to see
Uh-huh.
deer,
Uh-huh.
but I'm just saying I
That's right.
can't guarantee anything other than I'm going to do all the work that I can. Me and my guides everybody in this company is going to work as hard as we can for you to ensure your
That's right.
success from the time you book to the time you are checking out and ready to book again.
Good.
But I
Yeah.
tell people, I'm going to give you all the intel I have. We're going to sit down. We're going to get a game plan together. I have hunters who go in and I ask my hunters, unless there is a good reason and things happen, crazy things happen. A
Right.
neighbor's dog runs through,
Yeah.
whatever. That's life. That's
That's
hunting.
right.
There's things
That's
that
right.
we are not exempt from any of the crazy things that can happen. It's still hunting. We're still
Right.
hunting free range
That's
animals.
right.
But
That's
unless
right.
there is some crazy situation, we pick those stands for a reason. I
Mm-hmm.
do ask my hunters unless there's some unforeseen reason, I do ask my hunters to sit at least 2 days in that stand because I picked that stand
Okay.
for a reason because I
For a
do
reason.
believe that
That's
your chances of success are the best. But if you tell me, if you go in there and sit for 30 minutes and you call me and say, hey, I don't want to sit here anymore, I'm going to encourage you to, but I ain't going to make you because it's your hunt. At
What?
right.
that point, we're going to get a new game plan together and I'm going to give you some more options and we'll go from there.
Okay.
But
Right.
again, I promise you, here's my thing, and this is the way I explain it to my hunters. I do not believe that I'm a better hunter or that I'm more knowledgeable than any of my hunters who come and go. I don't. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
hunters that are, as far as a hunters, far better hunters than I am. But I promise
Okay.
you, if I come to your house and go hunting, you're going to
Right.
know that deer, you're going to know that farm, you're going to know
Thank
that
you.
lane,
That's right.
you're going to know everything far better than I'm going to know because you're
That's
there
right.
with it. You see it. And if I'm probably going to be a lot better off to listen to you. Now I might get lucky and
There
do
you
my
go.
own thing and end up having some
Right.
success. But
Right.
that again, but as far as being truly successful and having a great chance of success, I'm going to be better off to listen to you. And so that's what I tell them. Don't guide your guide. Um,
That's thanks.
I
That's
love it.
right.
I like
I've
that.
seen that before.
Well,
I've
say that one
seen
more
that before.
time.
don't
Don't
don't guide the
guide.
guide.
I've seen that before,
Yeah.
Sarah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and I tell people if I tell my hunters, if you will go in, you'll
Okay,
keep a
yeah.
positive attitude. Um,
That's right.
you'll listen to your guide, and you'll hunt hard. At the end of your hunt, if you've not been successful, come to me, sit down with me. I promise you, I will 100% make it right. We will come up with a way to make it right. But I also promise you that if you'll do that 9 times out of 10, I'm not swearing you're going to go home with a deer, but you are going to have a
Hmm.
great hunt. I do believe that. And like I say, at the end of it, if you aren't successful, then guess what? That's on me. Then it's my job to make it right. If you come
That's
into
right.
camp and you're just doing whatever, and you're not listening to anything that we're saying, then it's a different situation. Then I have to look at it and say, you know what? You took over your hunt. I don't know why you
That's right.
why you needed me to do it, but you took over your hunt, and at that point, you're responsible for whether or not you were successful. And
There
so
you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can tell
Absolutely.
you, I'm very blessed with a lot of amazing,
Yes, sir.
very respectful clients. I have
Uh-huh.
very
Good.
rarely dealt with that. There's a lot of highs and lows that comes with hunting. Hunting can be an emotional roller coaster.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
is. It is what it is. And there's some people that take it more serious, or, that take it a little harder or easier than others. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
Mm-hmm.
being driven, and having that passion and having that desire to be successful. But, there's a lot of highs and lows that come with hunting, and it is easy to get discouraged, and it is easy to get frustrated if the hunt's not going right. But that's my main thing. I just tell my hunters, I promise you, your success is mine. Come
Yeah.
in,
Yep.
hunt hard, stay bought. Listen, negativity will spread through a hunting camp faster than a
Ooh,
wildfire. I promise
it
you.
Leave it
will.
at leave it at the
Stay
road before you
positive.
turn down the.
Yes.
leave it on the road.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
positive. If you come in, you hunt hard, stay positive, and listen to us, listen to your guide,
Listen to the
then
guy. Listen to your guy.
yeah, if at the end of your hunt you aren't successful, come sit down with me. We'll make it right. We'll figure out whatever it is
Right.
that we need to do to make that right for you. And so,
But you put the
again,
work in, and that's good to explain that. That's good for you to explain that. But you've
That's
been in
right.
operation for a long time, so
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes for you. And and I'm just saying it to some of the hunters that now I've been in hunting camp with before, and they decide they want to do their own thing. And I'm like, I never go back with these hunters again, because it's like that's what you pay for. That's what you
That's
come in
what you.
for, the guide.
That's right.
They put the
absolutely,
work in. Listen to them. If you want to do that, go to the public land. Go
yeah,
get your map, and have at it, and go deep as you want to. Get lost in the woods, and then then come back out. But the guide, they're setting this up. They're setting us up for success. No guide or owner of property wants a hunter to come in and fail, because their business would go down. Right? It would.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
keep on doing what you're doing.
Lou, man, I like the way you put that because you know these the hunts began way before the actual
Wait
hunt.
for
The
it.
preparation,
Hmm.
the anticipation, the dedication, the pace, all that stuff happens before you step foot in a tree stand or shoot house or anywhere on that property in terms of, trying to be successful on a hunt. So Sarah made some great points, folks. And if you book with Triple Crown Outfit,
Outfits.
you
Right.
are pretty much setting yourself up to be successful if you don't guide the guys. If you
Right.
don't
Yes.
guide the guys, you're
Don't
gonna
doubt
have a
the
great
guy.
experience.
That's right.
You're gonna have a great experience. And I
And
like
this
what
is
she
free
said.
range now. It's
It's
free
free.
range.
Lou,
Free
you beat
range.
me to it. You beat me to it.
Okay, I'm
The
sorry. I
free
just had to say
range
it. It's free
experience. No,
range.
you're good. You're good. You're good. But
Hmm.
on top of that though, Lou, not only they free range, if a hunter for some reason or another feel that he or she is not happy or not successful, Sarah and
Right.
her group is willing to go and sit down and talk to you about it and
Right.
see if they can make it
Absolutely.
right. Where do they do that at? Where do they
Yeah.
do that at? Hey, if you
They'll say,
see
well,
one,
listen.
if you don't, that's on you.
Yeah, you sign up.
But
I've had bad
you know
bad
what I
experience with
mean.
that
So
outfitter. Yeah, I've had a bad experience, but it's also called hunting. But I've had hunters to go into hunting camp, and the hunting camp, bumped up to to public land. And so you have
Mm.
public land hunters hunting right there close to the private land. And so the hunters, the negativity, as you said, Sarah, was spread it through the hunting camp. And so hunters were talking about it, and 3 or 4 hunters left before the hunt was ever finished. And so they just
Mhm.
left
Absolutely.
because they said they had a bad experience. Well, that's a whole different topic that we can talk about and go on and on and
Yeah.
on. I just
Yeah.
know, be positive minded, think positive when you're going in, have a great experience. It is hunting. It's not tied a deal down. And the experience is going out, enjoying a place that you've never been before, the hospitality, and understanding that the love of hunting is with you. That's what drove you to go to Kentucky, because you hear all the wonderful stories about the big deer that are in Kentucky. And so you
Uh-huh.
just want to have that experience. I've hunted in Kentucky. That's me personally.
Yes.
Killed several
Absolutely.
several doe in Kentucky. Have not harvested my buck in Kentucky, and so it's time for me to get that buck in Kentucky.
Awesome. Sarah, and Blue, we talk about this all the time about personal growth and how hunting has allowed that to take place. But
Right.
for you, Sarah, just a couple questions before we get to a topic that we real passionate about. I know hunting has changed me, right? Hunting has changed Lou. And we can all agree that patience has been something that we can all say grew out of hunting as well.
Yes.
We know that it taught us patience. And for some of us, even the leadership aspect that you have shown, that you have shared with us in terms of how you develop new hunters or how you mentor the next generation of hunters and those little girls. And your confidence, you can hear it when you speak about your confidence in terms of hunting, your passion, and there's a responsibility aspect as well. So if you don't mind, could you touch real quickly on some of those things we just talked about in terms of your personal growth in terms of hunting, and how has that impacted your ability to grow and be impactful and effective to the next generation?
Absolutely. Yeah. From a very young age, instilled patience into me, and it continues to. I would tell anybody that hunting will humble you. When you think you've got an animal, wild animal figured out, I promise you, you're going to go to the woods. The woods will humble you every time.
Quickly.
And not to say that negatively, it just, it's
Mhm.
amazing. If I always, I think one of the main things in life as we grow as a person, it's always one of everybody's goal, certainly or 95% of people's goal is always to be better,
Better,
to be a
yes,
better
yes.
person, to be better,
Better
and to
person.
grow,
Mhm.
emotionally, spirit. I can tell you that hunting has spiritually, hunting is so responsible for my spiritual growth. When
Mm,
I'm out there in the woods,
okay,
I absolutely
okay.
connect with God in a
Come
different
on now.
way.
Come on
That
now.
is
Mm,
um, I'm laying my phone down. I'm not focused on anything going on at home, anything going on with my
right.
friends, anything. I'm
That's right.
focused on being out there. I'm in God's creation. I
That's
am,
right.
pursuing an animal that He
That's the main
created.
thing. That's right.
I'm out there with Him. I can talk
There
to
you go.
Him. That's what I can reflect on, so many things in life over the years. I can reflect on memories that I've
That's
been
right.
blessed with, and that I can really just I think spiritually, hunting has helped me grow in such a just a extreme way.
Your
Physically,
checkoff list.
will
You're going
always
on and
Yes.
make
on.
you
That's check.
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah. Yes.
Hunting will always make you stronger. If you're out there and you're pursuing it, I promise you, when you get that chase, when you get that fire for that chase in you, you will push yourself physically. Probably more than you'll
Absolutely.
ever push yourself in life. I went out to Utah a few years ago and I did a mountain lion hunt out there. We went 3.2 miles into a canyon in snow up to our knees. Before that, I mean, honestly, had I not that adrenaline from that lion, knowing that he
Yes.
was down there and the dogs had him
Yeah.
bayed, and
Mm,
it was
mm.
time to get there, I was able to get there. Now I can tell you the hike back about there. I remember looking up, thinking, "Oh my gosh." This is going to be a long hike. But
yeah.
I don't know that I would have physically been able to, or that I would have physically pushed myself as hard as I did had it not been for the pursuit of that game. So
And that's how
there's a
That's
fire.
amazing.
You let me get
That's amazing.
shed hunting or get after a turkey, people, they laugh at me. They're like, listen, if she hears a turkey gobble, you better get ready. Can't do it for very long. That just ain't in me. And, I've had guys, I'm short. So I've had guys who are telling, they're like, I don't even know how you move through the woods that fast with your little short legs. And you get a bird in front of me gobbling, me behind a fan. It is so funny because I'm squatted down, like hunkered down, walking.
See ya.
Any other time, I'm like, I'm a little softer, but you put me in the woods chasing a deer or a turkey or whatever, and physically, I push myself, and I think any hunter that's passionate about it, I think they do.
Do you think hunting has helped you with your faith?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I grew up in a Pentecostal church. So I got a praying granny that I think I credit her with, Lord knows her prayers has probably saved me more times than I'll ever know anything about, to be honest.
That's right.
Yes.
But yes, absolutely. I love the Lord, and Lord knows I've strayed over the years. I'm not perfect, but
Me.
there's, I've got my relationship with Him, and I do, like I say, that when I'm out there, I just connect so much differently.
Yes.
With Him, and
come on now.
Times that I take my Bible to the blind, especially if I'm going to do an all day series, I'm going to take my Bible. If I've got my phone, I've got my app on my phone, and I'm going to be out there. I see nothing in this world more peaceful than taking your Bible and going to the woods before daylight and sitting there, listening to the woods wake up, the world wake up.
You say
And
everything.
then after it's nice and daylight, sitting there with your thermos of coffee and your Bible and just waiting on a big buck to walk out. Like, there is nothing in this world that was more,
check out
and I've been blessed. So actually, I'll tell you a quick story. I had an older gentleman. He's a pastor. He's from Alabama, actually, older gentleman.
Okay.
And he came in and we connected. He had reached out to me about a hunt, some hunt pricing, and we talked. And anyway, I actually just invited him on a hunt. He came down and hunted with me, and he would take his Bible every day, and he would go do all day sits. It was a rifle season. So day 4 of his hunt, he missed a really good buck on day 2. And then day 4 of his hunt, he ended up shooting this beautiful deer. And when I got to him, he was crying. I was crying. It was a very emotional hunt. It was, I'm talking like it was emotional. He had the spirit of a child. It was the most amazing.
Yes.
I'm telling you, like, by the time I get to rifle season, sometimes I'm wearing down. By the time we get to the end of rifle season, I'm wearing down as a guide, as a person, because of mom. We're juggling everything. All of us are. And so we're tired. But he was right there at the end of the rifle season. And it was just like, I'm telling you, he rejuvenated. The guys, everybody, we're all standing there like we're firing on all cylinders again. It's like, where's some more hunters? We're still ready to go. Because it was just so amazing to see that spirit in him and to see the excitement in him. And anyway, but it's so funny. He and I still stay connected after all this time. They do a lot of mission work and things. But I can tell you that through hunting, I've connected with some of the most amazing people that I've ever met in my life. And to this day, there's times that I can just be having a hard week, a hard day. And it's so funny to me that the Lord just speaks to my heart. Out of the blue, Mr. John, that's his name, Johnny. Mr. John, I'll get a text. And it seems like it always comes. It's like it's right on time. The Lord, my timing is not God's timing, but I promise you, his timing's always on time. So,
that's right.
But I can be having just a tough week, and out of the blue, I'll get this message from Mr. Johnny. he's a pastor and he does some mission work, and it'll just be, hey, I'm thinking of you. We love y'all. Is there a prayer I can say for you today? And we still reminisce about that hunt. And actually, I'm
That's
hoping he
good.
makes it out for a hunt this year. But yes,
Awesome.
hunting has strengthened my faith in so many ways, not just my own hunts, but other people's hunts and connecting with other people through hunting. Because I'm telling you, it's like something about that little man, that little pastor. I'm telling you what, I don't know.
It makes it
He
all
Yeah.
worth it.
All
All the hunts you
worthwhile.
do. Sometimes it's just that one individual that sticks out amongst all of them. And so,
Yep.
like you said, you got
Absolutely.
recharged, rejuvenated, and then it help with your confidence level, you know, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and your faith. And so your responsibility as a hunter, their responsibility to coming into your camp is to have a good time, is to
Absolutely.
enjoy themselves, mingle with other people. Everybody see each other as hunters and nothing else, whether the male or female. You see each other as hunters, and I think it's our duty to go in and be respectful of each other and have a great time. That's the point of going to a wonderful outfitter as yours. If you don't want
Premier.
to
Premier
a premiere.
outfitter.
That's right. And if you don't,
Premier.
want to interact with a lot of people, and enjoy eating great food, then go to a public link, and
There
you
you
can
go.
do it all yourself. Okay.
There you go. Hmm. So
I tell people, that's the one thing I tell people. Every outfitter is not for every
Yeah.
hunter. It is what it
Right.
is.
That's right.
I tell people, call me, tell me what you expect. Let's sit down and listen. I've had hunters that I've literally turned away. I've said, hey, I don't think I would love to earn your business,
Right.
but I don't
right.
think I'm the outfitter for you. I'll recommend. I've recommended. I'm friends with a lot of outfitters.
Uh-huh.
There's none bad blood between me and any other outfitter. I want to see other
Uh-huh.
people
Hmm.
successful, and I hope they feel the same for me. And there's times that I just feel like I'm not the right fit for a client. And one, I don't want them spending their hard-earned money to come
That's
to a
right.
hunt that, that they may not be happy with. Because one, I'm setting them up for failure and I'm setting myself up for failure. At the end of the day,
That's right.
the main thing for me, I'm not a huge outfitter. That's never been my goal. I've came out of an outfitter where, they were the largest in the US. I came out of a camp
Mm.
where the minimum we would have in camp was 40. That's
Woo.
and that was great. That outfitter
Yeah.
is probably responsible for laying hands on more huge free range whitetails than any outfitter in the world.
Uh-huh.
But
Right.
that's not what I wanted to create. When I created
Right.
Triple
Right.
Crown, it was about,
Hmm.
I wanted that experience of having hunters who came back year after year, who didn't feel like a
Hmm.
number,
Hmm.
who, I tell people, I don't want to sell you one hunt. I want to sell you 10. I want to sell you a hunt
That's
this
right.
year, and I want you to come back
Right.
next year and bring your buddies, your
Right.
kids, your
Right.
friends, your
Right.
wives, your husbands,
Uh-huh.
whatever. I want that situation where, because that's what I grew up. That's what hunting was to me. Um, I have those memories from childhood where I lived in a little bitty town. And there were times that even in that small town, there were people that I felt like I didn't see all year round. But come
Okay.
deer season, Eugene would pick me up and we would go to deer camp. And there were people that I would see, that I knew to expect. They were going to be there. Their kids were going to be there because it was deer season. It was deer camp. And those were the people that I was going to get together and go on those hunts with and share those memories and those experiences with. And so that's important to me. I wanted my kids to grow up in that and to see the same familiar faces from year after year and to
Hmm.
watch their families grow, for them to share, for us all to share those memories and those hunts together. Because again, it's not just about the harvest. It is certainly about the memories made. You
Bingo.
know,
That's
Bingo.
it.
And that's
I
and
want people calling me for multi-generation hunts. That's important to me.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's
for
right.
me.
Right.
So
And that's the way that's a great segue to kind of
Yep.
transition.
Yep.
It's bigger than the hunt,
Hmm.
Sarah, you share some things that we've been trying to echo to our audience for, these last few weeks on this show. And that is being outdoor. It's not about the harvest that you see
Not.
that you
Mhm.
see. It's bigger than harvesting an animal. It's bigger than that. It's to the
Mhm.
point to where it is almost restoration for those individual that is going through strife in life. It's almost it's kind of like that example you provided by the minister, that he
Yep.
transitioned to childlike mannerisms and behavior because of the success that he experienced with harvesting that animal. That's what we're
Yes.
trying to get at. That is the essence. That is the focal point of why we do what we do. Because like
Absolutely.
the impact it has had on myself and Lou, and you said it, how it has changed you. It has taught us patience. It has taught us to be more um, um, flexible, more adaptable, being able to move with change because every hunt is not the same. You're not
Right.
guaranteed you're going to see a deer or a turkey
That's
or
right.
a hog or whatever. So you have to be able to accept these challenges and these obstacles and find ways to overcome. And your what you shared with us definitely does that. And I want people to know the outdoors has a unique way of restoring perspective. Okay.
That's right.
So, folks, we're
Absolutely.
going to transition with that to, Lou and I are trying to establish a platform on our podcast, and it goes to all the hunters, whether you male or female, child, adult, it really doesn't matter because
It doesn't matter.
someone somewhere is affected by it all the time. And we try to be advocates of not on through hunting as a way to advocate the participation as a remedy for mental health. Because, we have coined a lot of the action of in hunters in our community of crashing out. Crashing out is that term we use to describe people having breakdowns in life, whether that's relationships at work or personal things they're dealing with that cause them to act
Through
out.
in life.
So, yeah, going through life because we know life is hard. Life is challenging. So
It is.
I'm gonna toss it over to Lou to lead that segue in terms of mental health because this is something we're really passionate about. If it's besides this
We are.
hunting thing,
Yeah.
this mental health thing is something serious because we know how it has helped us in terms of, like you said, Sarah, in your words, being a better person. It actually helped us to grow. But we do know this thing can help some folks. Go ahead, Lou.
He can't. And mental health, and as he said, just piggyback off that the mental health is one reason why I go hunting. Is that's my exit strategy. That's what I do. I look forward to it. All of us look forward to get away, and I come back refreshed to go back to work. I run a business, a very prosperous business, and it gets a little stressful sometimes because you have so many phone calls and people calling, everybody depending on you, and I need an outlet.
Mhm.
And if I didn't have this outlet, I don't know, I may just pop, but this outlet is hunting. I do not have to go out there and see a deer the first day. It's just that first opening day. If I get out there and just go to sleep and wake up and just see the sunrise, I'm good. And I'd go back to
There you
sleep in
go.
my
Yes.
stand. And my safety
There you
harness
go.
on, but I go back to sleep in my stand and just be and just be thankful that I went out there. How does this hunting? I know you deal with so many people with so many attitudes and everybody's not perfect. How does this deal with your mental health when you can get
Oh, well, I tell people hunting hunting has got me through some of the hardest times in my life. Like,
okay? I
between
think you mentioned it. That's right.
my mom, just, again, Eugene would take me hunting just to get me out of kind of a bad situation.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
so it saved me then. Then through my own marriage,
Yeah.
the rise and the fall of that, I went through a divorce, and I'm telling you, hunting absolutely, um, became my outlet. It's how I survived it. I would
Yeah.
tell anybody, hunting has saved me more times than a few. Even growing up, and I think that's something that I think is so important about getting kids in the outdoors too. It's
There you
like
go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
growing up today is hard for kids. It's always been hard.
Yes.
Growing up, we're going
Yes.
kids
Yes.
so many changes. They go through, some kids, I'm blessed. I truly am. I'm blessed because I have two kids that I have a very strong relationship with, and
Mhm.
I feel like, I'm their
Awesome.
best friend. But there are kids out there that don't have that, or that even if mom and dad is their best friend, there's still something about having that independence or that hunting is a very empowering sport,
Yeah,
I think.
that's
And
right.
I think when you're me, I can tell you that the times that I felt the most down in my life or felt like I had failed at things in some
Mhm.
way, going hunting, it was just such a pick me up. Even if I went to the woods
Mhm,
and didn't succeed,
mhm.
going to the woods is a very empowering
Yes.
thing.
Yes,
It
it
really
is.
is. Just knowing that it's you and nature and you and a weapon out there in nature and you're out there against the elements, out there against the odds, and you're pursuing game. So that is in itself is a very empowering sport.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I can tell you, hunting has saved me in more ways.
Yeah.
I was in a really bad accident back in 2016 where I nearly did not survive it. And actually, the
mm,
fellow that was with
Wow.
me didn't survive.
My God.
And had it not been hunting, I don't know where I would be. I think hunting was probably even I mean, I had my kids then, and it was just so hard. I was
mm,
dealing with so much guilt, so much anger, so much confusion. There was just so much that I was going through, and it took me getting out into the woods to connect with God because I'm telling you,
Yes.
I
Yes.
was in a bad place. Um,
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
nature
mentally.
has really
So,
helped you. Nature has really helped you during stressful situations.
oh, it absolutely. It is, you know, now it's my career and I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes.
There are times that it is stressful. It's like any career. It is stressful. Times there's a lot of stress when I feel like hunters aren't having the perfect hunt or whatever. But still,
Mm,
even when I get to see my hunters go out there, I actually had a hunter last year who came out and hunted with me and I'm telling and it was so funny. We actually connected at the expo here last week. We ran into each other,
okay.
but he told me the other day when I ran into him, he said, Sarah, he said that hunt, that those 5 days that I spent out there, he said it ultimately changed the entire course of my life. He said I was on
Listen.
he's a
Good.
business owner. He was under so much stress. He told me this standing in front of his wife. He said, she knows. He said, "It was killing me, what I was going through." And he said,
Mm,
coming on that hunt and he told me before he left, when he was leaving from camp, he told me, he said, "This whole experience has changed me so much." He went home, he quit drinking. He told me, he said,
mm.
"I connected with God out there on that hill, sitting on that hill." He didn't kill a deer, but he said, "I connected with God out there." He went home, he quit drinking. He
That's
retired,
good.
semi-retired, turned the business over to his
Okay.
kids, bought an RV, and him and his
Wow.
wife, she was already
Yeah.
retired, and he was
Mm.
working himself to death. And he bought an RV, and I think he told me they'd put in like 12 or 14,000 miles in just a little while here on that
Oh.
RV. They're just traveling and seeing the world. Um,
Yeah.
so to know that it helps somebody else like that, because I seen a change in him just from the time he walked in my camp or the times that I had talked to him over the phone, because before he came into camp on the phone, he was just so stressed. You could tell, he was
Mhm.
calling me constantly. And we just went over things but you could tell he was just, it was outside stress, not the
Stress.
stress of the
Yeah.
home, but
Yeah.
he left, you could tell there was a peace over him. And
Okay.
but to see that was just that was strong. It was and
Wow.
then to run into him again the other day and we talked about it and he said, "I don't know." He said, I may be halfway dead if it hadn't been for that hunt. He said, "That hunt just changed
Absolutely.
something to me." And so
Absolutely.
I don't take any credit. I tell people I don't credit any of that to me. That's the Lord's work.
That's right.
Um, I just got to be just a small fish in a big pond as far as just being there and getting to witness it more than anything. So
Mm.
That's good. I'm glad you was
Awesome.
but
able to have that experience with that gentleman
oh,
and
Yeah.
what you're doing for others and
Mhm.
the uh the stress. And that's one thing that I am so thankful to have this and some of my friends that are from the city, they have not experienced and from the country they haven't experienced it. So it's just a blessing to share this amongst all hunters that they can really have a place to go. You don't have to talk to someone to get it off your chest. Just talk to God and go out there and you be at
yeah.
peace and you come back refreshed. Yeah.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. As we transition to kind of close this
Mhm.
out, which has
Yep.
been,
Cool.
man, this has been an amazing
It's
conversation,
been great.
amazing
Thank you, Sarah.
experience talking with you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We know how important it is to mentor the next generation, to try to keep these traditions alive, keep these skills alive, kind of pass that along. With that, what advice would you give a first time hunter and how mentorship is important in that endeavor?
A first time hunter, try it. And if you don't
Mhm.
succeed, try again.
Oh,
And if you don't
Mhm.
succeed, keep trying. Just stay
That's it.
positive. Staying
That's it.
positive is what it's about. And for anybody who's willing to mentor, who's willing to take, whether it's a kid or a first time hunter, or even if it's somebody that hunted years ago and hasn't been, I tell people if you're an avid hunter, if you're a hunter, push somebody else to go hunting, even if you're not
That's
taking
right.
them. But if you can
That's right.
take a kid hunting, take a kid hunting.
mhm.
That's
That
right.
it may change their entire life. Take a lady hunting, take a buddy hunting. Um, the gift of given the gift of the outdoors and of hunting, I promise you, is one of the best gifts that you can give anybody in this world. I
Mm.
truly believe
Mhm.
that.
That's right.
Um,
Amen. Yeah.
the gift of hunting is one that you cannot put a price tag on. You can say, well, a hunt costs this or hunt costs that. Getting somebody in the outdoors is a priceless thing.
Yes, it is.
And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be a big outfitted hunt or a big elaborate thing. Go to public ground, go to your family farm, stop and ask a neighbor, can you go hunting? And if you
Mhm.
can't, and take somebody along or encourage other people to get in the outdoors because I think we lack so much of that. I think, and I'm guilty of it. We're so
Mhm.
connected through devices, through social media, through technology, that it's so easy to lose our connection to nature and
That
That's right.
to
bang
ourselves, to
bingo.
Yep.
ourselves.
Mhm.
Bingo.
It's
She
so
said it.
you get
Mhm.
so
She
caught
said
up
it.
in the world and in everything that's going on. It's so easy to almost lose yourself, and to
Mhm.
lose sight of what you got going on,
Yep.
and who you are as a person and who you want to be. And um, even if it's not hunting, fishing. I'm a huge advocate for fishing. Now, for
Mhm.
myself, people's like, "What do you fish?" I don't know. Whatever will bite. I'm not that knowledgeable in fishing.
That's right. Whatever will help.
you know,
Whatever's at the end of that line, that's what you
I
fishing
just want
for.
to fish, but anything in the
Absolutely.
outdoors, just given the gift of the outdoors,
Good.
no matter how
Yeah.
big or small, even if just a hike, a bike ride, no matter what it is, I think people don't realize how valuable that is. And so,
That's right.
if you can mentor anybody or push anybody to get outside and just to disconnect from
That's right.
all the craziness going on in the world, all the negativity, all the technology, give somebody that gift. Get somebody to go and
Love it.
spend 3 to 4 hours with you, or push them to go spend 3 or 4 hours without all that. I promise you, it's
Mhm.
a far better gift than you could go down to the mall and buy them. I
Thank you.
truly believe
That's right.
so.
Appreciate it. And the last one before we get to our rapid fire segment, you may have answered this,
Mhm.
but we know there's the question of out there, how can we grow the sport, right? My question is, how can experienced hunters such as yourself help grow the sport? At the same time, how can an outfitter that you run help introduce new hunters and new people to the outdoors in terms of that role that you as a hunter or as an outfitter play?
Certainly as a hunter, like I say, encourage somebody else.
Yeah.
Even if it's on social media.
Mhm.
I get on these groups I'm on a lot of ladies groups on social media.
Right, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
And for you ladies who aren't hunting or you're curious about hunting or you want to hunt, join some of those Facebook groups. I promise
That's right.
you, we're some cheerleaders. Like we're gonna cheer for the in the outdoors. And I see men who are great,
Right.
who are buddies. But some of
Right.
y'all feel a little less, apt to encourage very publicly. Um,
Right.
but ladies, definitely, get on there, encourage somebody, whether you're a
That's
hunter
right.
already.
Mhm.
And for you
Mhm.
ladies who are just thinking about it or want to do it, get on those. I promise you, there will be some women who will rally and who will give you that last boost to confidence that you need. And for
Mhm.
you ladies who are hunters, you need to be the ones who are on there and who are boosting those ladies' confidence, who are on there, who are encouraging them. Listen, I love to hunt. I'm very proud. I have some amazing trophies, not as many as I'd like to have. I mean, there's a lot. I'm still ready to hunt. I'm still eager
That's
to
right.
hunt out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have some amazing trophies. I'm all about sharing those, but I would rather share the message and encourage a word to another lady hunter who's thinking
Okay.
about it, or to another kid, or to another person. Encourage people. Encouragement is that's what people need.
That's right.
As far as sometimes that's the last thing that somebody just needs, that last little push.
That's it.
As an outfitter or as a guide, I
Mhm.
think the main thing for me is just I tell people again, if you haven't missed, you ain't hunted enough. Keep on, come on. It's time. There's been big misses.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
our ladies, our young ladies program is huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue to grow that.
Absolutely. That's a
And
Good,
we're
wonderful
bro.
outreach.
blessed. Okay?
Yeah.
We're very blessed. I'm so blessed. When I started this company in 19, that was my dream, was to be able to do a little girls hunt and to be able to give kids hunts, not just little girls, because we
Right.
even give some other hunts away throughout the year. We give a dream hunt. I have some amazing sponsors who, we've given dream hunts away, and I'm talking like to a kid. So I'm talking like the kid was, they get a crossbow or a bow, a target.
Yeah.
They get all their clothes, their scent lock bags, their binos. I'm talking every
Wow.
single thing they would need, and they
Yeah.
get a free hunt. And we send everything to them. They got everything to prepare for their hunt, and then when they walk in the door, we take them on their hunt. And so, anyway, when I started this company, though, that was my dream. I never dreamed in our very first year that we would ever be able to do any of that. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was, that was a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. But the Lord blessed me. We were able to do that in our first year. We've continued to be able to do that. I challenge all outfitters, do something. Do something as far as being able to contribute to
Give back.
the
Yeah.
future of this sport. Not
Right.
everybody can afford an outfitted hunt. Not everybody can make that work. Not all kids, they don't have that. I'm not saying you have to give everybody a free hunt, but I'm
That's
saying
right.
as a guy, I challenge all guides, all outfitters, all hunters to at some point to go out there to be an advocate, to be a mentor. Listen, I tell outfitters, you ain't got to give somebody a free hunt. Go grab a kid up at the end of season and take him hunting. Take them on a
That's right.
doe hunt. I promise you,
Yeah.
it will mean the world to them.
That's
And
right.
so, I think that's the main thing. Just continue to encourage and to mentor and to push people into the outdoors, because if we
Yeah.
don't, especially with kids, that's our future. That's the
That
future
That's
of
right.
this sport.
I'm
So
glad you said that. And
Yeah.
it sounds like that's your legacy. Is that what you
Mm-hmm.
want your legacy to be?
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Won't give it a
So
record. That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
so for everything, I'm gonna sum it up right here for people.
Mm.
Every new hunter represents the future of hunting, conservation, outdoors, everything that we're talking about. And if you are an experienced hunter who has access to property, land, take grab a kid up, take them out there. You never know what trajectory that you may have on that kid's life by simply putting your arm around them and taking them out in the woods and sitting them in a shooting house with them and let them experience that wonderful
Absolutely.
experience that you experienced.
Yeah.
You don't know
That's right.
where that
Yeah.
would take them in life. So,
That's right.
and the future depends on the work that we do outside of the woods. When I mean
That's right.
outside of the
Absolutely.
wood, who are we talking to? Who are we teaching? What skills are we
Mm-hmm.
sharing? Are we going to the bow range? Are we going showing our young folk about nature and all the benefits that nature has to offer us? So teaching us the responsibility ha- to give back, that charity aspect, that's something that has seem to blossom in this conversation we had having as being charitable with our
That's right.
time in terms of developing the next generation of hunters. So, Sarah, thank you for that. And
Mm-hmm.
as we transition and closing out, we have this new segment in our podcast, what we call rapid fire. And rapid fire is designed to kind of get you going and asking you questions. You have to respond immediately. I mean, there's no
Quick.
time to think. There's no time to make the right answer. You have
Nope.
to respond.
That's
So,
right.
Lou, we want to flip it. You want to flip a coin for it, or
You
come
give
on,
the
let's
first
rock.
five. You give the
You get us.
rock paper.
Okay,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Want
4,
rock paper scissors?
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We can do it that way. You get the first 5. I got the first 5. Oh, you want to rock paper scissors? Which one you want to do?
Rock paper scissors, then, baby. Let's go. Rock paper scissors. You ready?
This competitiveness.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay. That was the time. Ready? Come on now. You cheating, Lou. Come on now. Come on. Call it, Sarah. 1, 2, 3. Sarah gonna say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Rock, crescent, scissors, rock. I got you. I got the questions this time.
It was the internet. It's the internet. That's 8. You got to blame it on the internet.
Okay, we want to blame it on the internet. Okay. All right. Sarah, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? All right.
She ready. Uh-oh.
She says she ready. She says she ready. Okay. Complete the sentence. Favorite season?
Turkey season.
Bow or rifle?
Bow.
Tree stand or blind?
Tree stand.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Favorite state to hunt?
Illinois.
Dream hunt?
Red stag.
Red stag. Favorite camp meal?
Oh God. Meatloaf. Miss Pam's meatloaf.
Biggest buck lesson?
Biggest buck lesson. Oh God, I don't know. Oh God.
Tick tock.
Biggest buck lesson. Take your time. Clean shot. Make it a clean shot for sure.
Making a clean shot. All right. Most underrated piece of gear?
Rangefinder.
Right? What? Okay. One thing you would never leave home without?
Binos.
And that friend, she's not through. Let's give her a hand. What's your final thoughts, bro?
Man, my final thought is I really enjoyed spending time with Sarah, and I appreciate this opportunity. We do realize that mental health, realize that it helps with mental health. We realize it helps with stress, and we do know we need to invite youth hunters out, even older hunters, people that never experienced it. We do know that the outdoors is a place that everyone can go and enjoy, and going outdoors, there is no certain time that you have to go out, whether it's early in the morning, the evening time. Just getting outside, enjoying nature, and realize that this is God creation that He has for all of us to enjoy, whether you're going on an outfitter or going on private land. Sarah said one of her most memorable moments, she killed her biggest deer on private land, which is awesome, right? And she enjoys spending time with a bow, her largest deer on public land.
Yeah.
I commend her with that. And then the experience that we're gonna have, which I love to come up to your place, Sarah, and get that
Looking forward
experience that
to
all
it.
the
Yes,
others hunt.
absolutely.
So we would love to come up there
Oh,
and
I'm
get
so excited.
get the experience of a velvet hunt. I'm looking forward to going up there and enjoying that time because I don't have one of those on long. So I appreciate the opportunity and appreciate you being on this podcast.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have y'all. I absolutely enjoyed this more than you know. Looking forward to having you guys in camp. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna feed you. We're gonna have a charcuterie board when you get there.
That's what I'm talking about. A charcuterie board.
Yeah. Sarah,
But,
yeah. Sarah, again, thank you so much for sharing your journey and the work that you're doing through Triple Crown Outfitters. I'm gonna say that again. Triple Crown Outfitters. So, listener, audience, take out some time, book a hunt, take the trip to Kentucky. Sarah is going to show you a great time. I'm looking forward to our time coming up when we go up there. And
That's right.
I think it'll be a great opportunity. So, Sarah, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave the link in the description of this podcast, along with your bio and all the contact information that they need in order to book a hunt with Triple Crown Outfitters. Is that okay? That's good with you?
That is perfect.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And, again, your passion for hunting, conservation, and mentor reminds us that the outdoors is much more than the harvest. We've said that it's much more than that. Whether someone is a lifelong hunter or just beginning their outdoor journey, your story has shown us that dedication, preparation, and the willingness to serve others through what you do at Triple
Yes.
Crown Outfitter can create
Yes.
a lasting impact. Two examples stand out in this conversation that we've had:
Mhm.
the three generation of hunters with the
Yep.
granddad, dad, and the son,
Yep.
and the
Yep. Yep.
pastor.
And the
Those
pastor.
two examples right there is a clear indicator of how impactful you have been and you're continuing to be to hunters all across the great state of Kentucky and beyond. So thank you.
That's right.
To everyone that's watching, remember that the greatest trophies aren't always measured in inches, and they are measured in the memories, the friendships, and the lives we influence along the way. If you can remember that, then you are on the right track in understanding why we do what we do. Okay? And if you
Absolutely.
like what we're doing on We Hunt 2, We Fish 2, do Lou and I a huge favor and hit that
Please do.
subscribe button. Be sure to like, share, and comment. And remember, guys, do what your mama told you. Get out the house. Go outside. Go hunt. Go fish. We hunt 2, we fish 2. Peace.